Yeesh, it starts out a little louder than I thought it was going to. I keep forgetting that, yeah, right. Some of these older games, they, and by older I mean PS3 older, they need to load your profile settings before they have the actual volume options that you have set kick in. Like, this one does it, and then I think Dragon's Dogma does that as well, where, at least on the PC version, and the PS3 version as well, the game's volume, you may have tweaked it somewhat, but the tweaks and the changes on the options menu don't actually take effect until you press start on the start menu, and then it loads your profile settings, and then it's like, oh yeah, right, you turned this down to 20% of its volume because it's blasting in your eardrums. Whoops. So, needless to say, we won't be playing the PC version of Dragon's Dogma. Because, unfortunately, the sound balance on the PC versions of, I think, this game and Dragon's Dogma, I think this game it's a little bit better, but in Dragon's Dogma for sure, the sound balance is not particularly well done. Getting sound right is really tricky, but it is a very important part of getting these games to feel right, you know what I mean? And when you have a situation like Dragon's Dogma's PC port where the cutscenes are playing at like 15% of the master volume, even if you have the master volume turned all the way up, and then you get out of them and there's just blast of volume just right in your eardrums. It's like, no, that doesn't make me want to keep playing you. Like, I want to hear the cutscenes. Okay, like at a similar volume level as everything else. And if you can't do that, I don't think there are a particularly large number of mods that I'll be missing out on anyway with Dragon's Dogma on PC, so. PS4 version has much better sound balancing though, so we'll be playing that one when we get to it eventually. It's funny because I played a Bethesda game earlier this year, and now I'm playing this one, which is not a Bethesda game, and really not a Bethesda clone either, but it's compared to Bethesda games a lot. And frankly, Dragon's Dogma sometimes gets that treatment too. Maybe we'll wait till the next time I play a Bethesda game, which would be when I play Skyrim. And then we'll play Dragon's Dogma later that year. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Or wait till I play Fallout New Vegas, even though that's an Obsidian game rather than a Bethesda game. But, you know. Either way. I'll wait a couple more minutes. I took a drink, but I'll wait a couple more minutes before we get started. And I gotta remember this time to load game. Excuse me. Because it might have auto-saved after the fact. And I don't want the extra time on my file. Excuse me, this game's already going to be like 65, 70 hours of time, so, well, maybe not that long, because that would be 21, 22 streams. 22 streams would be about 66 hours. So, I'm thinking 18 streams, that'd be about 54 hours worth of playtime. Yeah, it sounds about right. 3 hours pop, so yeah. That is correct. Okay, one more drink, and then we'll get started. And what I'll have to do is I'll have to turn the volume up one on my end, not on all of your ends, because that's already sound balanced, I think. But I'll have to turn it up one more on my end after it leaves this menu. So, yeah, see, there's my autosave, and that's probably what we would have continued from, and we don't really want that. We want this one, so that's the one we're gonna go with. At least I think I might need to turn it up one. We're going to have to see how loud the music sounds once we get it all loaded up. Yeah, that sounds about right. Sorry, sometimes sound balancing is more difficult than it has to be. Sometimes they make it real easy on you, and some games it's not exactly that simple, but I think we've got it at this point. We'll have to find out. I'll keep listening to the stuff after it's done playing, and we'll see what we end up with. I know we'll end up with a whole lot of dead spiders by the end of the day today, though, so sorry if you're arachnophilic, I guess. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Kingdoms of Amalur, Reckoning, the stream edition. Last time, we made our way from in the Odoroth region into Yolvin. We went to the House of Ballads to report Illuvia's injury. We actually went ahead and did a mission with them in Gorguath, and then we went to Arden's hut, found out he was dead, and a mysterious person who felt a little familiar to me ended up visiting after his death. And today, we've gotten ourselves stuck in a tangled web, because that's the name of the quest here in the Webwood. We gotta go back to Canarok so that we can oust that one jackass who wanted to basically pay me to kill somebody. And then we have to figure out what is trying to run them all out of town. So we're gonna go do that. I'll put my flaming sword on my back, why not? And do I want to go get... I guess it wouldn't be a terrible idea to grab a couple of the remains on my way back to town as well. Like we could grab these two and then kind of circle this way into town. These three you actually, I think, go get for a later mission as part of the town's stuff. So I think we'll swap our quest over to Resting the Bones, and we'll go grab some of those while we are on our way back to town. There's a couple more quests in this quest chain, and then after we're done with those, we will move right along, head off to Ettenmere, and see if I'm going to get my ass kicked in Ettenmere. Answer is probably, unless I abuse Shadow Flare. And that's a good thing, because Shadow Flare is something that we will be making pretty decent use of today, because my plan of action for the next few levels is primarily to take conservative casting and hardy constitution at each level, but then that still leaves me a point in finesse that I can do each level, so we can continue down our normal universalist path of might, finesse, sorcery, so we can get to our next title, our next destiny rather. And so I'm probably going to max out Shadow Flare, and I'm also going to max out whatchamacallit, Frost Trap by the time we're done. So that's the plan. See if it works out that way. Okay, well, almost worked out. Speaking of working out. Okay, well, we got our ass kicked by the poison a little bit, but that's okay. I think it may be time for a change in strategy in terms of the weapons that we're using here. We shall see in a moment. I'm thinking I might switch over to the staff. We've been working our way up a little bit with staves anyway, and staves actually help a little bit with crowd control with these spiders, especially if you have a fire staff still. So I might... Oh, okay, those are just separate items in the inventory. That seems like a good way to accidentally fill all the way up on inventory, but sure, why not? So let's do staff, and let's do... I love me some hammer, but let's try the longbow out, shall we? Probably going to be less effective than what we were doing, but we'll see just how much less effective, and then if it's too much, then I'll work on going back the other way, you know. So we'll see. What was that? Oh, that was Arden's hut, right? Yeah, okay. Sometimes those doors on the map also look like hidden doors that you get from the Detect Hidden skill, so sometimes it confuses me a little bit, and I have to like double take and look at them again, but that's okay. I think I mentioned this previously, but animals can have some pretty good blacksmithing materials for you, but I would not recommend hunting them right now. They don't really have great stuff at the moment. Probably not until about level 20 or 21 would be when I would say it's best to start looking for those. So Mage's Vortex, by the way. 1, 2, block and spin. It hits multiple times. It has a pretty big suction effect, I guess. Am I going to get... No, I'm not going to get any discovery points for this. Alright, that's fine. I was hoping to get some experience for that. But yeah, Mage's Vortex works pretty good against spiders specifically because a lot of them try to work at you in crowd control groups. So you can kind of get them all stuck in one place. And then from there, you just sort of take them all down after getting them all stuck into one place. You can use Stormbolt, you can use Shadow Flare, you can just attack them normally. Whatever trips your trigger. But yeah, see how much of an AoE that has on it? It's pretty effective. At keeping them all in place. And then you can kind of just keep it up until you reach a point where they're just about dead, and yeah, there you go. Then that works pretty good. Oh look, he even gave me a staff, although it's an ice staff, so it's not really going to trip my trigger. And it's a crude birch staff, so it's basically the same as the one we have, except it's on ice instead of on fire. And that's not so good. Not at this point in the game, anyway. Ice becomes more effective later, but I'm more a fan of the fire staves, personally. I just find that they're a little bit more useful in more situations than the ice and lightning staves, so... Hey, Marie and Amarilla. How you doing? Welcome back. Just saw you incinerate a spider a minute ago. What's going on? Oh, I switched weapons. I'm using a staff and a bow now instead of the hammer and the sword combo, just to kind of help with crowd control with the spiders. I find that the staves work pretty well on spiders in the webwood specifically, so sometimes I'll switch over to them, but we're going to be using 4 different weapons over the course of the playthrough. We're going to use longsword, hammer, longbow, and staff. So I'll be switching depending on which enemy needs what, basically. So, Reckoning or Re-Reckoning? Reckoning. I wanted to tell the story of 38 Studios, and I own this one for the PS3. I do not own Re-Reckoning, so I said, we're going to play Reckoning, because 38 Studios' development cycle for this game is silly. Just silly. Also, why did THQ want so many fucking puns in their remake titles? War Master Edition for Darksiders 1, Definitive Edition Darksiders 2, Rehydrated for SpongeBob. I'm sure I'm forgetting puns. The remaster for Red Faction Gorilla had one too. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the same guy or gal or whomever ended up being the one that was naming all of the remastered versions of these games in THQ's studio. I don't know. That'd be my best guess. But yeah, so we're using a staff right now. Okay, that leads to Haxie. You know, I may go and just collect up the rest of the remains while I'm out here doing it anyway. I'm not 100% sure if all these other quests actually send you to other places, so I might just go do it now while we're thinking about it. Oh, hello. Somebody left some skeletons out here. Let's just send them back to the great beyond, shall we? That'll work. Find Copper Talisman. So these are your magic shields. They give you elemental resistance instead of like block efficacy or anything like that. So it can be kind of nice. It just gives you fire, ice, and lightning resistance just like that. So it can be kind of nice. I'm not a big fan usually, but they have cool effects on them. A corpse, Scarlet Flowstone, and a minor healing potion. You can keep your shadow prisms. Hello. Ooh, that's a sentinel. That's problematic, but do the best we can with it. Yeah, back up. No combos for you. Yeah, I didn't parry quickly enough. Okay, got that one. Good. Mana's too low for that. Alright, that's fine. Ring of the Anti-Venom. 5% poison resistance. Nah, I mean, it'll be worth a decent chunk of money because, you know, I can sell it, but Probably not going to be worth a whole lot otherwise. Yeah, I want to loot the Fair Gordon, not the corpse with the shadow prism on it. Thank you. Okay. So I think if we jump off here, we can fight some spiders. We can go get this hollow log. We can fight some more spiders, and then we can head this way to get 1, 2, 3, and we'll be good to go. So it was remastered. Red Faction Guerrilla remastered. Yeah, somebody's. I don't know about these puns. They don't really work, in my opinion. You know, we've got one Prismeer lockpick. This is a hard chest. Let's use it. See what we get. Ceremonial helm. Well, we have the might for it, but it's worse than what I currently have on, so... It is, however, a set piece. Those yellow ones belong to sets. Now, the problem with a lot of unique armor sets in Kingdoms of Amalur is that they're found randomly. You have no way of guaranteeing their finding them. So I guess in a way, again, it really reminds me of Champions of Norith, but in Champions of Norith, a lot of the unique armor sets, it was like you'd find 2 or 3 pieces of there's just one unique or 2 unique armor sets per area, and you just find a bunch of pieces of them by the time you were done because you get so much loot. In this game, there's so much extra loot that you could get that it kind of makes it so that these don't pop up as much as I'd like them to anyway. But this one belonged to Eswin Eric, a noted mercenary captain and tournament champion, his first full-dress rig. Captain Eric was lost on a raid in Cluracan, and Cluracan is way off in the east side of the map. But I guess that was a pretty good use of a Prismeer lockpick. You don't often get stuff like that from just random loot, so... Okay, we got 4 giant spiders. I think we Reckoning mode them. I think you're done. Yep. And now you're done. So eat this. That'll give us a little chunk of experience. I think we have a minor experience booster, right? Yeah, we do. I don't want to use it yet until we're in a situation where there's a very large chunk of enemies all in the same place. Including a boss, because if you use it during a boss fight, it actually gives you quite a large number of experience points. So we'll wait until we're in a boss fight to use it to get the maximum benefit out of it when we Reckoning mode the boss to death. Alright, so there's a chest over there, a log right here. Probably going to be a bunch of things that are going to try to kill me on the way through this, but that's okay. Never mind, the things that are killing me are still ignoring me. Traveler's Band. Okay, well that's not too bad. It gives us a little extra lockpicking, a little extra health and stealth, but I'm not going to use it. But it's better than the Squire's Ring we have, so I can sell that now. And eventually that Traveler's Band will be replaced. Actually, it'll be replaced pretty soon, now that I think about it, because I know exactly what I want to get as my second ring. So, yeah, once we replace it, we'll, okay. I did that wrong. It's okay, though. Nice step back actually saved me from the Venom Spit there. That's not bad. You come here. Now you come here. Sure, I'll commit. And that takes care of that. Not bad. I like the staff's melee, quote-unquote melee combat in this game. It's the magic weapon that I find to be the most easy to understand in terms of its combos, I guess. Usually it's just 1, 2, do a spin, and AoE them down. But, yeah, I don't know. It's fairly satisfying, at least to me. So, Smoldering Longsword, that's slightly 1 point of damage worse than the one that we have. And some Sea Flax. Alright, cool. We'll just put those away and then head off in this direction somewhere. Another hollowed out log over here and here. I think these remains actually are next to... I think there's a dungeon that you go to down here. So maybe we won't go down here just yet. I was thinking about it and going and getting these other remains, but I think if you go to this dungeon down here as part of this quest line, it might be more worthwhile to me to wait to get these other 3 until we're just coming down here to begin with. So, you know. They don't, but at least they consistently don't work, and clearly just someone's going, and no one up top going, no, that's dumb and not professional. Yeah, and that's fair, too. Like, I mean, you got to have a little bit of fun with it, even if it's not really that good of a pun, you know. Button mash minigames are a scheme by Big Controller to make you buy more controllers. And that's a shame, because this is a first-party Sony controller that's in my hand right now, so ideally, I don't want to mash too many buttons, because if I break this controller, the likelihood of me finding another first-party PS3 controller is not high. But we'll see what happens. Okay, so let's go back to the ballad, not the ballad, a Tangled Web. The ballad is later. This is now. And actually, once we're done with the ballad and one other thing, that'll take us to where I'm going to get that second ring that I actually want. So,
for your part in saving me, you have my thanks. And you're welcome to Gossamer End, a house in the village.
Oh, thanks, man.
In Day, the town blacksmith will make repairs if you need them. For his treachery, I have banished Garana from this town. The widow take him.
Yeah, he's not going to survive very long out there.
So quickly. If the widow is out there, we must send someone to Castle Yolvin to find out why.
Well, maybe we should send someone to Castle Yolvin now. I can do that before I worry about the house.
Information. Castle Yolvin was a Fey bastion long ago. They used some form of the magic to pacify Webwood.
I'm guessing that magic hasn't really kept working out, has it? So I'm going there to meet up with a Fae then, or are they gone at this point?
We need something to stop these damn spiders. Long ago, the Fae of that castle tamed them, and all of Webwood. If there's any clue as to what they did, or maybe about the widow, we could use it.
Alright, I'll see what I can do. So that just leads directly into the next quest, which will take us to Castle Yolvin. Cutting the threads. So we'll go work on that. A couple of other quests in town. I believe those exclamation points there are tasks, and Gossamer End is also a task that takes us into our newfound player home, so we'll worry about that later. For now, let's head up to Castle Yolvin and work on that. Hey, Tanim, how you doing? Welcome back. We are in the Webwood, trying to take care of a legion of spiders by killing them and anyone that they call master. So that's the plan, anyway. We'll see if it works out. No, Stranger. Stranger is leaving to take care of more spiders. Stranger just realized that he probably shouldn't have burned Fate Mode on a bunch of little spiders, because I'm pretty sure there are bigger spiders to fry up here. Oh, a dead body. Oh, it's that guy, isn't it? Yeah, Garaner. I didn't get the chance to kill this guy. He died outside of the influence of all my weapons, just out in the wilderness somewhere. That's great. Well, he had a ring of fire shield. That didn't really help him much. And then Chauces of the anti-venom, which I'm going to equip because those will actually help me, because poison is fairly common here, in case it wasn't immediately clear. So this is the right way, right? Yeah, okay. This will take us up and around. A couple of these paths look the same to me, because one of them leads to Ettenmere and the other one leads to this castle. So, and like I said, if I remember correctly, we're going to meet up with a new enemy up here, and they're a little nasty. We'll see if we can work them over. Just checking for any treasure spots or anything like that. Well, we found Castle Yolvin. And whatever that's supposed to be. A Crudock. Cool. No, stop that. Oh, okay. Well, he doesn't stun very easily. No, you stop that right now. You won't stop that right now. I'm thinking we do one of these first of all. Then we block that. And block that as well. Oop, okay. I'll just wait. Well, we almost got him. Probably shouldn't even have blocked there, but I said, better safe than sorry, you know. I'll take those coins, thank you. Yeah, those guys are nasty. Just their tail attack, really. It can go through your shield. You can't parry it as far as I'm aware either, so it can be a little tricky. You want to try to keep your distance and just kind of block and counter, you know. If you can do that, you're in pretty good shape. And maybe use a regen potion while you're at it, because at this point in the game... Oh, well, we're not getting up there unless I turn into a mountain goat or something. But yeah, at this point in the game, you don't have a lot of health regen, so you kind of just have to make do with what you've got. And what I've got is a secret entrance into the castle. Wait, hang on. Treasure chest? No. Secret entrance into the castle. Whee! Let's go see what they've got in here. Any valuable information for me?
This is Yorvin, proud and mighty, shaped and hewn by Fae of old. If you hear us, then we are sleeping still.
Okay.
But be strong of heart, new one. Our powers are old, but our triumphs are eternal. We have brought peace to the
I was gonna say, yeah, that's like most summer Fae. I'm not so sure that peace is lasting, guys. I'm fairly certain that the spiders aren't having none of that anymore.
Corruption, decay, and filth were grown, were spread like sickness from the fens and dells of this place. They were led not by a beast, not by a fell one, but by her. The one who walks alone. The mother of 100,000 spiders.
Oh.
She is a queen of web and poison. She calls herself the Widow.
Damn. So, Boss Spider? Are we gonna see a unique enemy at the end of this quest? I'm down for it. Bring her on. I want to see what this game's got in terms of its other design choices. That is what we in the business call bait. Now let's see what happens with the Switch. So we're going to have to leave the castle in a minute, so I'm just going to leave this door open for now, but I guess I'll grab these crude boiled leather leggings. Those are tier 2 light armor, so if you're playing a rogue, that's probably going to be a little bit of an upgrade for you. Even if it's crude, it's still a little bit of an upgrade, you know. So, excuse me. Alright, so a whole bunch of rats, and more rats, but all these are above me, so I probably got to go out and this way and around to get up to where I need to go. We'll keep that in mind. Ooh. A spike trap. Yeah, gotta keep that in mind too. Traps are gonna start showing up in some of these dungeons. Now, if you don't have the detect hidden skill to disarm traps, you just won't see these. They'll just happen, and you'll have to keep an eye on the floor to make sure you don't end up with spikes in your feet. Eventually, though, I don't want to. I actually want to try not to disarm too many traps while I'm at it, because if we look at skills here and we go into detect hidden a little further, we can't get into the advanced rank just yet. But eventually, we'll be able to actually see traps on the mini map itself, so we'll know when they're going to show up, so we can disarm them. And because of our +1 that we get from the universalist skills, the might, finesse, sorcery skills. Once we get to rank 7 of Detect Hidden, we'll not only be able to see traps, we'll also be able to disarm them and take components from them for our blacksmithing efforts. So that will come in fairly handy for us. We'll see what we can do about that later, though. For now, I guess I got a door to pick. Ooh, okay. Not so much. Maybe over here. Here we go. See what I mean, though? Don't really need too much help with the lock picking. I wouldn't even bother with investing in the skill. Feels like a waste to me, you know. Okay, shouldn't have committed. Okay, also shouldn't have Mage's Vortex there. Get both of you in front of me here. Haven't even used the bow, honestly. Probably should have used it a little bit there, but... Oh, speaking of bows, here's a crude elm longbow. It's actually better than the Scout's one, so let's equip that bad boy. Frosted longsword. I think that's an iron one, so it's a tier 2, or not an iron one, but a steel one? Is that tier 2? I think steel is tier 2. It's ice, though, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'll take the rest, though. That's nice. What is sea flax doing in a building? Growing in a building? Wouldn't it be growing by the sea? Isn't that how that works? Oh, by the way, I mentioned last time with the shards that we're getting not to sell them until you know that you're not going to use them. And even so, not to sell them until they're in pristine condition later on in your sage crafting efforts. I actually know which ones I'm going to use and which ones to get rid of at this point. So later on, I'm going to sell any ice, lightning, and poison ones that I get. And I'm going to keep any protection, physical, fire, and magic ones that I get. Because those ones, those 4 that I just mentioned, will be the ones that I use for actual sage crafting. But the rest, I won't. So we can just sell them and make a pretty penny out of them. Not much of a profit, but a tidy profit nonetheless.
The canopy stretched far and blocked the light of summer. But we pressed on and forward to Cathris, to the widow's den.
Cathris, huh? Keep that in mind.
But she was weaker still, her children having died before our march. To Ashara we commended her, and then we felt the call of winter. And so some turned to sleep, and I kept watch.
I feel like maybe I understand how important tradition is to, all Fae, but maybe you guys should have just defeated this boss spider? Boss spider. Before you all went to sleep so that she wouldn't become a problem for everyone else later? I mean, just a thought, right? Like, maybe that would work out pretty nicely for everyone involved. I'm gonna get the hell out of here, actually. Just watch, by the way, because you might end up in a situation like what I just did there, where I actually interrupted my attack by blocking. So you don't want to block too early in order to do Mage's Vortex, or else you'll end up eating your own attack input, and that's not so good. Hardy necklace. Okay, well, we don't have a necklace yet, so that'll work pretty good. I'll put that away, and that in my pack. And there we go. Mage's Vortex, incidentally, also works pretty well for breaking pots, because it breaks them in a wider area than you would suspect, considering it has that little bit of AoE on it. So, excuse me. Alright, well, here's another one. But maybe we take care of the enemies first. Say, camera, you're gonna need to work with me a little bit. Oh, wait. Yeah, I should have waited again. Oh, well. And that takes care of that. Just gulp some of those down, because I might as well. Might as well use those up, because eventually we're not going to need them anymore by the time we get all the regen that we're going to need. Chakrams of Skill, 3% chance to crit, pretty strong. They're the strongest weapon we have available at the moment, but nah, we're not really having any trouble with our damage, so.
Some colder wind of winter blows then, we have seen. Summer does not return our brothers, our clans to us. What will happen to the vigil I keep? Winter already calls me. And no relief is in sight.
Sounds like they're having trouble keeping up with this ward, which is probably why they ended up in such difficult situation. The Widow. We can actually see her on the map. Okay, cool. We're almost there. We can almost go see the boss spider. I'm kind of trying to keep my eyes on the floor so I don't end up eating a trap while I'm at it. I don't think that would work out too well for me. No. Well, I was going to say somebody had a bad time, but it looks like they had a bad time because the Widow made them have a bad time rather than did it to themselves. That's great. What a lovely image. Okay. Last one.
Widow walks. I can feel the heart of the webwood pulsing with her anger. Her spiders are at the gates. We never thought this day would come. The widow walks. The widow walks.
Yeah, well, maybe you guys should have called for more backup. Anyway, we can level up, so I'll probably do that right now, just so we're in good shape once we meet up with this widow. Although her voice didn't sound very spider-y to me. But hey, let's not lower our expectations just yet. We might be pleasantly surprised at how interesting and unique her model looks like. Surely they wouldn't just make her look like every other boss with a unique name in this game, would they? Blacksmithing 3. Okay. Blacksmithing 3 it is. We can salvage infrequent equipment now, so that'll get us any green gear that we have in our inventory we can now salvage for parts. So if we need to, we can do that. I'll worry about that later. And then because of the +1, we'll also be able to use 4 components when crafting equipment. That's nice, and it will probably make it a little easier to make equipment over time, but really what I want to wait for is until we can get access to this blacksmithing level right here. So we're kind of on a race to the top with blacksmithing and detect hidden. We want them both to get to level 7 ASAP so we can start working on sage crafting, and then we'll work on mercantile later. I'm actually planning on buying 2 levels of mercantile with trainers later on in the game. Actually, not that much later, honestly. Probably be where the next 30,000 gold we spend actually goes. So that way I can get blacksmithing, detect hidden, mercantile, and sagecraft all to level 10 with my bonuses by the time we reach endgame. So, but for now, blacksmithing 3. And as I mentioned, this level is the first level where we'll get to take advantage of hardy constitution and conservative casting, just to give us some nice passive resistances. Like I said last time, though, don't take this one. In this version of the game, this is bugged. It will reduce your health by 20% rather than restoring your health by 20% when your health falls below 25%. So if your health falls too low and then this procs, you might just kill yourself. So don't take that. It's a mistake. It's a trap. Thankfully, you can fix it very easily with a Fate Weaver, but it's still a trap. It's a setup. Don't do it. All right, next one. Speaking of traps, well, we're not going to work on Frost Trap yet. We're going to max this out first. And then I want conservative casting number 1. That'll just give us a flat 10% reduction in costs for our mana use. So that's kind of nice. Make things pretty useful for us. And we're starting to work our way up with other destinies as well. That's not what I wanted to do. It is what I wanted to do. Okay, all the points have been spent. I just want to press confirm. Okay, there we go. Now we're good. All right, so let's go see about this intruder. I don't know if she's an intruder. I feel like she's been here a while. But let's go say hi anyway. Excuse me. I'm gonna guess at least one of these skeletons is one of the Fae. Probably the Fae that was talking, honestly. And maybe the rest of these are also Fae or human. Or elven.
Another stirs in Yolven? But it is only a wretched mortal from that doomed town, no doubt.
And you're just another Fae.
This brood would love feeding on one as strong as you.
How did you birth 100,000 you know what? I don't think I want to know how you birthed 100,000 spiders, but you're just another Fae.
What was once hers.
Like... Oh, okay. Bye. Oh my god, look at all the spiders! Eh. Oh god. Nope. Get them all in a big bunch. Keep it up before they spit at me. Don't want that. Actually, yeah. Uncommit there. Uncommit violence, you see. Okay. Yeah, I saw that one coming. Sorry, you're gonna have to do better than that. This trap isn't going over so well for all of you now, is it? By the way, you can charge up your arrows when you shoot with the longbow. So when you see it glowing like that, that's a charged shot. When you shoot a charge shot, any effects that you have on the bow are guaranteed to proc on the enemy. So if you have a poison effect or a bleed effect or anything like that, it has a 100% chance to proc when you shoot a charge shot at them. It's your reward for charging for a couple of seconds. So I would keep that in mind because it can be a pretty useful thing to do later on. It can help out with taking care of some enemies a little bit easier. I personally like putting bleed and poison effects on my bows so that way I can just get the effects of bleed and poison. Which, now that I think about it, I don't think I explained what bleed and poison really do, did I? So I guess we'll take the time now to do that. So you've got 5 different elements in Kingdoms of Amalur. Elemental resistance on armor specifically covers fire, ice, and lightning. And fire, ice, and lightning each have an effect associated with them. If you set your enemies on fire, they'll burn. That causes them to panic and lose a little bit of health. If you freeze your enemies, I think all of them actually have a damage over time effect on them. But if you freeze your enemies, they'll move slower. And if you shock your enemies, I think they're more likely to stagger, if I remember correctly. Or maybe it just propagates damage to enemies around them. I forget. Either way, it's pretty good. Oh, basic Bloodseeker's health. That's not bad. It gives you a little bit of a chance for some lifesteal. It's not good lifesteal, but I'll take it. So yeah, you got your fire, ice, and lightning. And then on top of fire, ice, and lightning, you also have bleed and poison effects. And then you've got your 2 physical elements, which are physical and piercing. Physical and piercing are basically physical and another type of physical. Enemies have a lot more piercing resistance in this game, which seems kind of bizarre because it's piercing, so you'd think they wouldn't have a lot of defense against it because, well, piercing. But no, they have a lot of resistance to piercing. Or maybe just the formula for piercing's damage is rougher in terms of its damage curve than others. So piercing damage I wouldn't worry too much about. Just worry about boosting your physical damage or just your overall damage and you'll be fine. As for bleed and poison, we'll just get back around to those because those I think are the most interesting. Bleed and poison provide a damage over time effect, but on top of the damage over time effect, they also have a different effect. Really? It has homing effects on it? They also have a different effect on them. They will affect your enemy's stats. So if you poison an enemy, it reduces their attack power. And if you bleed an enemy, it reduces their defense. Physical defense, that is. So the birch staff is severely damaged. I'm gonna have to take that into town, aren't I? No, I could just use a repair kit on it, honestly. Okay, it's at 4 of 20. So let me grab a repair kit. But yeah, so basically if you poison an enemy, it reduces their attack by 20%. If you bleed an enemy, it reduces their defense by 33%. So ideally you want to have both on an enemy because those are just nice little debuffs that you can do, and it kind of makes you feel a little bit like a saboteur when you use those, and that's why I like using on the bow, because then I can just apply them from long range while they're running up to me, and then I can just hit them with other attacks once they get too close. So probably by the end game, we'll have the longbow just on triangle for most of the time, and we'll use another weapon on square. So, okay, so let's use that to repair that. And what else? Anything else that I particularly need to repair? No, not really. Okay. Probably the birch staff went down a little bit more because of the fact that I've been using Mage's Vortex so much. It just sort of happens when you use a big attack like that. Anyway, the Widow's Wrath is the next quest. We've already went straight to that one. That's the final quest in this quest chain. So now we just have to escape from the castle, go back to Canarok, probably kill a bunch more spiders while we're in Canarok, and then once we're done with that, we can head off and fight the Widow herself. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, you stop that right now. There we go. Nope. You don't get to jump into me. Instead, I will spin to win you. Alright then. Wonder how staff and hammer would work in terms of combination. They're both slow weapons, but the hammer at least would make it so that I have something to use besides the bow, you know. Like, the bow's not bad, don't get me wrong. It's just... Oh, I've got 2 of these. Okay, well, let's get rid of those. And, wonder if I do longsword staff rather than staff bow. Because right now we can't apply any damage over time effects on the bow, so I don't really feel like it's that necessary. I'll try hammer first. Staff hammer first. And then once we're done with that, we'll try sword and staff out again. Like I said, I just like the staff with the spiders because spiders have a tendency to kind of cluster up on you. And it makes it easier to crowd control them this way, I find. So, alright, grab one of those, then... Good, I stepped out of the way of that. Get rid of you. Use the walls to my advantage. The wall has abandoned me. What the hell, wall? Actually, that was the table, not the wall. It's not bad. There's no really great way... I mean, I guess I can close the gap with Harpoon. Like, I can do the... push them away with the staff, and then close the gap with Harpoon, and then start whacking them with the 5-hit hammer combo. So... And actually, we can extend that 5-hit hammer combo out even further than the 5 hits. We can do... we can interrupt that block 3-hit combo with the hammer at any point in time with another Harpoon or with Shadow Flare's first hit. So we'll probably do that at some point to make it a little more combo heavy, you know. I might want to go buy a couple more picks. Crude steel daggers. You can keep your Shadow Prism. We don't want any. More spiders. How did I know? It's like I got a 6th sense for this stuff. See that? I dodged out of the way of all that shit without even seeing it. Okay. Get the hell out of your way. There we go. Oh, look, there's another little one that wants to join us. Do it again. You come here. Damn. Thought I was going to move enough out of the way from the natural push of the hammer swing. I was not. I have been abandoned. In my hour of need. Oh well. We're going to have quite a bit of stuff to sell once we get back to town, I think. Because we're actually almost at our inventory limit at the moment, so... I probably should have sold stuff when I first went back to Canarok instead of just immediately leaving. But a lot of the shopkeepers were out of their actual houses from, I imagine, whatever the hell Barton was doing once they were, once he first got back to town, so... Oh, well. Okay. Just, you know, don't proc there, Harpoon. I'm trying to press you. I'm pressing it too quickly, evidently. See, I did it again there. There we go. Okay, another Prismere lockpick. I'll take it. Honestly, not that bad, Staff and Hammer. Again, they don't have super synergy, but... I mean, it works if you use, like, Harpoon to get them close enough to actually, you know, make it work, so... Yeah, see, you can interrupt it at any time with that first hit of Shadow Flare. It uses a little bit of mana, obviously. So you gotta keep that in mind. Make sure your mana bar isn't, you know, underflowing or something. But you interrupt yourself and then go from there. And our mana regen at the beginning of the game is fairly modest, but just like health regen, we'll get more of it over the course of the game to the point where we won't have to worry about it too much, so... I'm going to focus a little bit more on health regen than I am on mana regen, but... we'll work on both. Must have missed this. Okay, cool. Extra health regen potion is always nice. Probably get into a fight with more Crudocs on the way down here, but that's okay. I've got Reckoning mode for them this time. And a hammer. I love me some hammer. Makes me feel like Eustace Bagg. Just walk out here, somebody just walks up to me and whacks me upside the head. That's it! I'm getting me mallet! Beat the shit out of him with it. Hammers are pretty nice in this game, though, because they're one of the highest stagger per hit weapons in the game. So I usually like having a weapon that's quicker and a weapon that has high stagger. And hammers are slow, but I find them to actually be slightly faster than the greatswords, personally. So I usually just stick with ye old mallet by comparison to the other stuff. Okay, sure, why not? I'll break out and get some free damage out of it. No, let's not attack the townsfolk. That would not be good. You come over here. Now you. And now for you. I guess I'll come to you this time. Okay. And got that one. Alright then.
By the seas, you sure took the long route to Castle Yolvin. Now tell me, have you found their secret? Can you stop the spiders?
Well, actually, yeah, if we kill the widow, then we can stop the spiders. I know that's a long shot, but that's the plan.
I didn't want to think the stories were true, but I've seen her hand in this since it began. It's only a matter of hours before Kennerock is destroyed.
So we've only got a matter of hours to fix this, then.
Deep within the webwood. I wouldn't be surprised if the Hollow is where she makes her home.
Probably.
I'd hope for an army to assist Kennerock. You're all I have. Don't know if it's fate or luck, but there's no time. The others and I will take refuge in the inn.
Well, considering the fact that I have power over fate, I don't have to believe in luck. Anyway, we'll work on Gossamer End later. For now, looks like most everybody's taking refuge in the inn. So, what do I have that's in the inn anyway? Like, what quest is sending me there? Oh, okay, just an extra Prismio lockpick. Probably Gossamer End. It's probably... They're sending me there to talk about upgrades for the house, but we'll worry about that later. For now, I'm going to go in here just to sell some stuff. I could always just fast travel to Gorhard to sell some stuff if these guys are too scared to sell me anything as well, but we'll see. Is there anything in my inventory that I don't need anymore? Honestly, I might say goodbye to the Scalding Longsword and work on the Crude Steel one instead, just because this has less of a damage split. Fire damage, like I said, right now is really good, but it's less of a split in damage, you know, so it might be better to just stick with the Crude Steel one, because we're going to be getting steel ones going forward anyway. So I think we'll finally call it on that bad boy. We can get rid of you. And we can put you in the thing as well. We're doing pretty good on our accessories. Sometimes I get a lot of them, and sometimes I get almost none at all, so it just sort of depends. And we'll hold on to our repair kits for now, I think. Yeah, I'm working on it, Barton. I'm working on it. Okay, so I can't use this to repair. I have to use a... Are you the blacksmith? Like, can you repair my gear?
There's a lot I need to do, stranger. So if you've come on business, you should make it quick.
Okay, I'll make it quick then.
The forge is hot if you need to use it, and I've a few items I can spare, but we'll need them soon enough, I'm sure.
I mean, yeah, if you guys are going to defend the town, I gotta imagine. I'll worry about the house upgrades later. For now, let's see what it costs to repair. Okay, 670 to repair everything. That's not bad. Thank you. Usually I like to save my repair kits for when I'm just out on the road and, like, there's a situation where I just need to go ahead and take care of it, you know? Like, it's like, okay, no, I'm in too much dire need.
Thank the gods.
So.
Someone from the outside finally made it through. I thought we'd be... well, I never thought I'd see a new face again.
Well, you guys aren't spider food yet. So.
I'm Silhouette of Vonner, the village mediciner.
and I need your help.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to need my help. What do you need from me?
Normally I keep a stock of anti-venom at hand for when silk farmers get bitten, but with the recent attacks my stores have been emptied. There's not much to the potion, but because we've been in Webwood for so long, we're more sensitive to the spider poison than most.
I would think that would give you
So there
passive
is an
resistance,
ingredient I
but
still
okay.
need. The poison glands of the spiders themselves. I'll need someone to harvest them.
Well, I'll be fighting a whole bunch of spiders out in the world there, so I should be able to get a few for you.
Good. I'll need as large a batch of the potion as I can make, so 15 glands or so will be needed.
Good job, hero. Make sure you go out and get me 10 bear asses before you come back.
In the maws of the beasts that hunt us, I'm afraid. The only way to get the glands is to kill a spider and take them.
I probably should have done this,
Task.
like, when I first
But
got
the
here,
town needs
but...
this potion soon.
Oh, well. We should be able to kill, and it's only the giant spiders. The venom spitters don't give it to you, even though you would think they would, because they're the ones spitting the venom. But no, I'm pretty sure the giant spiders are the only ones that give it to you. So, anyway. There we go. A little bit of extra money. Now, Siloretta here actually has some regen potions, and basically in both directions that I'd like. I'd like the health and the mana regen potions from her, so she's kind of going to be, like, my go-to for specific health regen and mana regen potions for a little while until we find another person that I might want to buy them from. In addition to that, she's got some, well, recipes that you can use in an alchemy table, but the thing about a lot of the recipes that she has, like, let's say I want to look at a health regen potion, she won't let us see what the actual way to make them is, but most of the time with potions, one of the items is an alchemical reagent that you can just buy from shops, and the other one is usually not found in shops at all. You usually have to go out into the wilderness and pick it, so you'll need alchemy levels in order to actually get it. For example, the health regen potion, I believe, uses black cohosh and scarlet flowstone. You can't buy scarlet flowstone anywhere as far as I'm aware, so you end up having to harvest it, and that can be tedious, and that's why I usually just buy the potions themselves, because it's just easier than trying to run out and grab that stuff. I mean, you consider the fact that these health regen potions are only 173 gold, and they give me 5 HP per second for 60 seconds. Like, that's nuts. So, usually that's more to my liking than anything else, to be honest. So, I'll just sell any alchemical ingredients I have to her, because she's apparently got all the money in this town. I don't know where the general goods merchant is, but I'll probably find them at some point. Alright, so I have a pristine poison shard and a pristine lightning shard. I could sell these right now for a little bit of a profit, but I want to wait a little while until I get more mercantile before I sell these, so that way I can maximize the amount of money I get out of them. I think. I might change my mind on that, but we'll see. But definitely don't sell any of them that are below pristine level if you're going to sell any of them, because they're just not worth as much money as you'd get out of pristine. So, help, I can't stop yawning. I don't know if I can help you with that one. This game, I'm not going to say this game is a snooze fest, but it doesn't exactly make it easy to, there isn't a huge amount of excitement going on at the moment, I don't think. But that's just me personally, so. Alright, anyway.
Good day.
Hair of the dog. Sorry, I don't get it. So, Armoire, Beckery, Aide. I thought there would be like a way to check what everybody's occupation is, but there is not. So that's unfortunate. Menry Toch.
What can I help you with?
Nothing. Just checking to see if I can find the general goods merchant. You know, these people are all like, okay, you're not sleeping, so.
You frightened me.
Sorry. I thought you were sleeping, and then I realized you
Does
weren't,
no
so.
one else see the widow? The widow is coming for us, and her brood comes with her.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
We'll be food before nightfall. We can't hold this island, these few buildings against them.
Don't you worry your head about that, ma'am. I will take care of business. Reason why I want to look for her is because we've got a whole bunch of money now, so I just want to see if she's got anything interesting for me to buy. Like a student staff of dusk, which would be interesting if it was on fire, but it's not. Also, tooth chakrams of the geyser, which are definitely the strongest weapon that's available to us right now. But again, chakrams, not really for me. So probably worth your while to get though if you're wandering into Cathris, so you don't have to go in there with just what I've got, a birch staff, which is what this is. Oh, by the way, if you see those sockets in them, like if a weapon has a weapon socket, an armor socket, a utility socket, anything like that, those are where you can stick any gems that you craft through sage crafting. You can slot them into those. You can also use them through blacksmithing later on in the blacksmith tree, so I would say, save them if you're going to do blacksmithing for that, but if you're not going to do any blacksmithing, keep an eye out for those sockets, because those are going to be the weapons that you can actually stick stuff into. So just, keep that in mind for later. Okay, so nothing going on there, really. A lot of light armor. Superior gauntlets, which are not superior to what I've got, but I guess they give you 10% more armor. Signet of Bounty, 3% gold drops. Ring of Achievement, 1% experience bonus. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to help me a whole lot. Anything here? Nothing particularly worthwhile. At least not in my opinion. She's got some repair kits though, so I might buy a couple of those. Like, I'll get up to 10, I think. So that's 2 more. There we go. So I'll try to keep 10 of those. I hope she does, because frankly, I don't feel like dying today. It's always possible though. But that's why we have auto saves and, well, we don't have quick saves, but I can quickly save by just going to the pause menu and clicking save game. So anyway, let's see. So we have the Widow's Wrath to work on. Here's those repair kits that I just bought. And these we can just do in the background, so that's fine. So probably, I know that the Widow is very important and all, but let's go figure out this resting the bones part, just to give me more of an excuse to wander around and fight spiders in the meantime, so I can get those 15 glands. And then, once we're done with that, we can move along from there. Oh, okay. I don't know why it's pointing me, like, off in this direction. All 3 of them are down here, so... Including that one, which is, again, I'm pretty sure right near, yeah, Cathris, which is right there, so... Those are brownies. Those won't spawn any spiders, so we'll just move right along. How many of these do I have? Okay, I have 11. That's cool. I'll just slurp my way back to full health real quick. And then we will move along. Probably didn't really need that too badly, but, Did I not grab this when I killed a whole bunch of those other spiders? Probably not, because I think I avoided this, because I was like, oh, I can't jump down this little wall here. But... 2 fine cotton cowls and cotton hand wraps. Okay. Sure. Whatever you want, game. Whatever you want. Alright, we got a hollowed out log here. I think. Usually it's a hollowed out log in the woodland section, but I suppose it could be a rock formation. We also have another crew dock. That's just great. Okay, so this is getting a little out of control. So let's get it back into control, shall we? Okay, I'll just wait. Where's my experience for killing that crew dock? I was gonna reckoning mode him, but I kind of just looked at it and said, I don't know that I need it that badly. Yeah, hollow log, okay. But yeah, as you can see, the venom spitters did not drop any of the glands that we need, so we'll just have to grab them from the actual spiders. Since we got one more of those, let me just pop that so we have it for later. That's just the shadow prism. Maybe I should grab this just to get it off my... Nah. Shadow prisms are not usually... I usually don't use them, so that's usually why I'm like, I don't really need to take those, Okay, so we got a hollowed log. We'll get that in a second. Let me grab this first.
The steam of summer from the forest.
like a runner in the night, or mist from a lover's whisper. Spectral blood from the riverbed wraps our bodies in gloss. The fog eases through blades of grass. We shall grasp these floating strands of summer and capture beauty in our work.
It sounds more like you're going to capture the essence of the people you're killing, but I don't know, maybe I'm just woefully misinterpreting the message that you're trying to send through this thing. Oh good, 1 leechwood bark. Fantastic. Just what I needed. Ah, a brownie. You have any friends there, little guy? Are you just out here by yourself? Oh no, you've got a friend. Sorry, friend. Man, those guys didn't last, did they? Alright, I'll take that, thank you. An average chest. So Tabby's got an excellence in audio at Indie Play 2023, and it's not even out yet. 8 more days and you are beyond hyped. That's impressive, though. Usually, like, indie games that aren't out yet, like, I know it's an indie play, so it's, like, specifically focused on indie games, but usually when they're not out yet, they don't get those sorts of accolades, you know. A Silk Farmer journal? It used to be part of a journal kept by a silk farmer of Webwood. Okay. Day 1, Gariner has us silk farmers doing reports now. Thinks that if we start collecting data about the silk harvest, we'll be able to better predict the harvests in later seasons. What, does he think we're gnomes or something? Sounds like one of the mining companies from out east. Well, I put my time in there, and I know I'd rather spend my days avoiding becoming spider food than going back into those cramped tunnels. Another thing I thought that was funny, later seasons? There are no seasons in this wood. We just harvest every damn day until the silk runs out or people stop buying it. Summer and winter, rain or shine, as long as there's silk in the trees, it's harvest time. I guess he can't complain, since his coffers always end up full. And just so Gariner knows, harvesting's the same as it's always been. Nothing ever changes in the Webwood, even if you stop to write it all down. I like that guy's attitude. Let's discover Cathris so I can just fast travel back to it once we're done with the hunting for the Silk Farmer remains, I think. And then we will move on. Ah, good, more spiders. You come over here. So I can... Okay, I guess I won't do that then. There you go. I'll just back up. Okay, shouldn't have backed up that much. Okay. Get rid of you. And down you go. Okay, there's a poison gland. A single one. We'll find more spiders. I hope. I don't think you have to find them here in the Webwood either. I think you can find them all over the place and still be fine, so... Alright, I'm going to assume that's found on the map because... Let me just see. Yeah, we can fast travel to it, so... I'll keep that in mind for later. Probably going to head out, feel exhausted, and have no idea why. Alright, Murray, sounds like a plan. Yeah, sleep well. We'll see you on the next one. We'll probably just be wandering through the forest, taking care of the widow. And then once we're done with that, we'll be heading off to Ettenmere. I'm not sure how much of Ettenmere we'll actually get done today, though. Probably not Agarth's part, because the House of Ballads part is, I think, closer to where we enter Ettenmere. So, the way I see it, we'll probably go fight the widow. Then we'll go to Ettenmere, and we'll do the oratory. And then we'll probably get part of the way done with Agarth's thing in Delach. And then that'll be it. We'll finish it up on Saturday. Oh, hello there! No, don't go nowhere. Alright then. Oh, you do drop poison glands. Okay. I was mistaken. It turns out the venom spitters do actually drop poison glands. Who would have thought? Well, at least we've got a couple more of them now. It will slowly quest update for me while we're at it. We should see more of the spiders pop out, yeah, when we're getting closer to these silk farmer remains, so... Oh my god. Okay. point in this direction. Look at that. Got them all. Perfect. Just wait till we upgrade Shock, or Stormbolt, rather, to have an effect where it can propagate between enemies. We'll do something like what we just did there, and we'll just hit a whole bunch of enemies at the same time. It'd be great. And now for you. Okay. The unfortunate part is that it doesn't look like each venom spitter or spider is guaranteed to drop a gland. They have a high chance of dropping one, but not guaranteed, so that's no good, but I guess it makes it more interesting. Okay, we're at 8 now, so let's keep that in mind. We've got 5 of the 6 remains. We'll go get the last one, see how many more spiders we fight. We're actually moving into Haxie here, which is the next area that we'll go to, rather, after Ettenmere. I think I'd rather go to Glendara first, because there's a town there that actually has like a blacksmithing shop proper, where they sell actual blacksmithing materials. So I think I'd rather go there first before we go into Haxie properly, but we'll figure that part out later. There's a whole lot of map left to go, that's the point. Like I said, we'll probably be here for about 18 streams, I think. So we'll see if that's how much it works out to be, or if we manage to squeak in a little bit quicker than that. Alright, last little set of remains are right here. Grab these, instantly get ambushed by... Oh, okay, nothing at all. Ah, there they are. I probably shouldn't have done that. Oh well. Can break out of it and, go from there. Now we'll get in there. Don't know if it's a good idea, but I'll do it anyway. Little extra, because it looked like we weren't quite going to KO him with the last hit there. So get that little extra from the first hit of Shadow Flare. I like Shadow Flare a lot. It's often used in a lot of my builds if I use Finesse in any way, shape, or form, just because it's just a nice little tool to just have in your back pocket in case it's like, okay, I want to extend my combo out a little bit more, So, oh, a jeweled bracelet. That's just worth some money, so... We'll just sell that to the highest bidder. And the highest bidder is going to be the general goods merchant in Canarok once we're done with this. Don't got to worry about it, though. It's not like an Elder Scrolls game where they have a set amount of gold and that's it. You can just sell as much of your loot as you want to them. And they will always pay for it. So that's cool. Alright, we have to rest the remains now. And the remains need to head back to Canarok. So, just outside of Canarok. Alright, cool. So once we go, I'm going to go up this hill, actually, and see what's up here first, because there might be more spiders up here. It'll give me an excuse. So I can get a bunch of the extra poison glands, and then if we get 4 more on our way up here, we can then just take them all to where we need to go, because we can go rest the remains, we can give away the rest of the spider glands, and then go from there. Yeah, I should have probably just done a regular attack right there, but... hindsight, as they say, is 20/20, so... Alright, so that's 12. If I remember correctly, there's a house up here, and there might actually be some spiders inside of this house. I forget what exactly. Here's the Toch farm. Probably that one lady that was in the inn probably had a quest where I had to come here or something. Oh well. I need to go a little further. It's not quite moving as quick as I think it should. Withering Feyblades. Let's do poison damage. Our first Cloudy Magic Shard, I think. So that's kind of nice. Oh, hello. What'd you guys do? Just spawn in or something? Nope. Saw that one coming. Okay, poison gland number 14 and poison gland number 15. I guess poison gland number 16. Sure, I'll take it. Why not? I might get some extra money for any other ones. So.
The embrace of webwood never ends. It grips you with a strength of passion, a gentle stillness, a quiet moment. Sleep in this cradle of a balmy, secret place.
In case it wasn't immediately clear, the widow is the one that's talking in the webwood stones there, so... Well, that's not great. Do I care about what's inside of Toff Farm? I guess I'll go look. I don't think... It's a house, though, so I don't think they'll have any good loot, you know? Also, probably What's-Her-Face isn't going to be too happy with me coming here. Or maybe she will, considering the fact that her folks are dead. And the bones are all over the place. Blistering greatsword. Well, that's a strong-ass weapon. Hold on a minute here. Maybe I'll have an excuse to use a greatsword for a second. Jesus Christ. Now I'm glad I came in here. Sure, why not? We'll stick it right there. We have acquired a greatsword. Let's see how it works. It's also on fire. I have the block attack with the greatsword too, don't I? That's the wrong button. Yes, I do. Okay, well, that's going to be fun to mess around with. Longbow of bloodletting. Oh, good, and that actually lets us apply bleed damage. I will take that as well. I'm glad I came in here now. I almost missed out on all this good loot. Why would I do that to myself? Some fine leather boots. I'll just stick those in junk. Yeah, that lady's gonna be pissed in town. She's gonna be like, wait a minute, did you go to my parents' house? That sword looks familiar. Yeah, about your parents. They're, not really kicking around anymore, sorry. Actually, longsword and greatsword might be a pretty cool combo as well. I can show that off here. Let's see. So let's do this real quick. So we got longsword and we got greatsword. My concept here, right, is that we've got that drop attack when we block with the greatsword where you swing downward, right? So you've got this. And it's a 2-hit combo. Deals massive amounts of damage. Pretty quick for a greatsword hit. Like, greatswords have a little bit of startup lag on them. But here's my thought, right? So you do your combo with this, you do your delayed hit, and then you block after you do your delayed hit with the longsword, which launches them into the air. So they're helpless, and then you hit them with the block attack with the greatsword, and that knocks them back down and deals massive damage to them. So we'll give that a shot. We'll see how that works out against the Widow. I'll try to use different weapons if they're just more effective in the early parts of the game, but eventually I know which weapons I want to use in the end game. It's going to, like I said, be longsword, hammer, longbow for applying bleed and poison, and staff. So I know those 4 are going to be the main ones. I'll try to use some of the other ones, but a lot of the other ones I'm not particularly good with, so... So there's the combo right there. But unfortunately, it's got a little bit of lag on it itself, so... Like, you can't... You kind of are committed to it once you use it, you know? Okay. Yeah, I saw that one coming. Alright. Break myself out, get a little... Okay, no AoE for me, unfortunately. Alright, well, if you're not dead from that one, then you're dead from this one. Sounds like somebody's car needs a tune-up out there. Good lord. Don't know how much of that anybody's hearing, but it's actually rattling my window. Anyway, so we have all the glands that we actually need, so we don't need to worry about those anymore. And we can rest the bones now. So let's just go back to Canarok. We'll churn in those 2 quests, so that way they have the anti-venom. And then once we're done with turning in those 2 quests, we'll head to Cathris? Carthris? No, Cathris, I think it is. I had to say it a couple of times just to see, but, you know. Okay, this one's out here. This ossuary looks as though it has seen better days. However, it would be a fitting place to rest the bones of the dead silk farmers you found in the webwood. Why? Who knows, but sure, why not? Place the remains and get the extra EXP for it, and also get back some inventory space, because each of those silk farmer remains were a separate entity. That's just great. Let's see here. So, hair of the dog is inside the inn, so let's go turn that in, and then we'll go back to Cathris, and we'll see about this widow. She's on this floor because it doesn't say up. There she is. Here you go. 16 poison glands.
Gods, my store was almost out. But with these, I can create a fresh batch.
Sweet.
Please, take these. I'll be able to make more shortly.
I think she actually does add them to her stock. I'm not sure if she... Let's see.
I do. Here's a bottle from our batch.
So I guess she'll give you some more if you need them.
Good day.
Cool. But I don't need the spares. At least not yet. I might need those 3 inside of the next place, but, you know, we'll worry about that once we get out there. Because, I mean, like, if there's going to be a ton of spiders in the next place, obviously I'm going to need a little bit of Venom Guard, but I usually don't bother with it, because usually you can just get away with chugging a health potion, and that does enough to make it so you don't have to worry about the Venom Guard, you know? So... Matter of fact, I'm just going to add all of them to junk. I don't think we'll need them. We have 11 health regen potions. I think that's all I'll need. So, we have a 37 inventory right now. Okay, keep that in mind. I think we're good. All right, let's... Oh yeah, I need to set the Widow's Wrath as the quest that we're working on. We'll work on Gossamer End after that. Once we know that the whole problem's been taken care of, then we'll have an easier time actually... you know, having a house for ourselves. And we'll have a little bit of money to invest in the house as well. House upgrades in this game, from what I remember, are actually pretty cheap by comparison to some other games, so not really a whole lot to it. I think I might be able to, with the gold that I have on hand, just finish off all the house repairs that need to be done to get all the effects out of it, so we'll see. Excuse me. All right, into Cathris we go with a weapon that I'm not used to using, but I'll see what I can do with it nonetheless. Actually looked at a couple of combo videos earlier today after Marie mentioned the combo videos the combo video that I posted back when we were playing Devil May Cry 5. Excuse me. And there was this one video with this person who is way better at this game than I am, who was using a greatsword and chakrams in tandem, and they just kept increasing the, like, they would knock the enemy up into the air, and then they would juggle them for so long that their acceleration would start getting exponentially faster and faster, to the point where eventually they were just launching them across the battlefield, basically, like straight horizontal. It was cool to watch. I'll have to take a look at it again, because it gives me ideas, you see.
Your stubbornness is yet another irritation from you mortals.
Well, maybe if you did the work yourself, you wouldn't have to worry about my stubbornness.
It is not a quality we share. The bulk of my hoard lies within, and I am eager that you might face it.
You saw me kill all the spiders outside, right?
Upon my spiders, nor am I unreasonable. I can see you are brutal in your own form. I offer amnesty in exchange for the lives of Canarok.
That's not amnesty, ma'am. That's genocide. So, no, I'm not going to do that. You have disappointed me more than they have. I expected humans out of them. I expected you to be a giant spider. Like, I wanted, well, clothed Quelaag, basically, and this is what I got. So, no, you're a disappointment, and I'm going to kill you for it.
Oh, I had believed for a moment that you had some potential. Oh well, I lack the sympathy to kill you personally.
And that, ma'am, will be your downfall.
Spiders, after all. While they draw breath, none shall approach me.
Well, their deaths can be arranged.
Wolves obey my wishes. These spiders' lives are mine. Your way to me will be barred by root and fang.
Actually, if I remember correctly, there's a hidden door that you can take that just lets you shortcut straight to her. I'm pretty sure. Actually, maybe it's just not open here, but I'm pretty sure this door only opens... Because, like, you have to get to her here, so you have to go all the way around to get to her through legions and legions of spiders, but... I remember there being one dungeon where they would be like, yeah, no, you definitely can't get to me from here, and then one of the doors is just, if you have a detect hidden skill high enough, you just can go through a door and get to them instantly. So, minus 5% mana costs? Probably not worth as much as... The door is opened by unusual means, cannot be opened with keys or lockpicks. Alright. It's not worth quite as much as that other medallion I'm wearing, but, you know. Okay. Yeah, definitely not used to this great sword thing, but we'll try to make it work what it's worth. Or, you know, just don't use... Just don't use the attack that I'm telling you to use when I tell you to use it. Okay. Hold on. Do one of those. Offset the poison. Like, the greatsword probably works pretty good, it's just I'm bad with them, and they have massive ending lag on them, which is not really helpful for spiders, because they have a tendency to sidestep your attacks, and then just sort of meander around and whack you upside the head while they're at it, so... I might want to use a repair kit, actually, on the staff again. There we go. Just because I use Mage's Vortex so often. Let me make sure I can see these guys first. There we go. See, that went a lot better. And we got another hammer out of it, although it's the same as the one we have, so... Just stick it in junk. And go from there. You have any loot in here? Just a bunch of mushrooms. Not anything that I personally need. By the way, it's a good idea to bring that flaming staff with you. Even if it's just the one from the tutorial, it'll burn through the webbing here. So, or any weapon that's on fire, because there's quite a few little webs that you'll need to burn through in order to grab treasure and stuff like that in this one. So, there's some spiders behind me too. Yep. Knew it. Alright, then you get to... Oh, okay. I guess just, you know, ignore the harpoon that's supposed to stun you. Alright, go over here, so I'm kind of got them all in front of me. Oh, okay. I thought that spider was trying to whack me upside the head like that one just did. Breakout. I see you trying to spit over there. Don't think you're clever. I got you covered. Alright. Yeah, see, I don't know. I think I'm just more used to the hammer, like its moveset. It just feels more comfortable to me. I understand the ending lag on it a little bit better, so it's easier to dodge out of the way of stuff or block stuff, so I'll probably just use that instead. If it's just easier, I know the great sword is stronger, but if it's easier for me personally, then I might as well just use it, you know. That's the way I see it. Any more spiders want to come out and play? I got plenty more where that last part came from. Probably be a few once I go in here. Because I'm looting their home. Well, I don't know if this spider sack is their home, but it's definitely where they keep their best stuff. Or some of their best stuff. There was a chest, by the way, back there. I didn't really acknowledge it. It was an average dispel chest. And I don't really have good dispelling, and if we got cursed, first of all, we'd lose out on whatever loot is inside of that chest. And second of all, then I'd have to go all the way back to a town with a healer, so Goreheart, in order to cure the curse, and it would cost money, so... I don't know what's in it, but it's not really worth it in my opinion. The risk is too great. It will take too much of my precious time, so I will not go after it. I'll take these linen hand wraps, I guess, though. Alright. Oh, okay, sure, why not? Right, there we go. Just kind of get them all in a nice little group. Catch as many of them as I can. I can't wait until we get that Stormbolt upgrade that kind of lets it, whatchamacallit, propagate the storm damage to enemies around the enemy you first hit, because that will be very useful for my purposes. I don't know if getting in here is a good idea at the moment, but okay. See what I mean, though? The ending lag just kind of makes more sense to me on the hammer. I know when I can dodge a little bit easier. Okay, alright. Say that, and then I'm getting my shit pushed in right after, but, you know, do as I say, not as I do, right? Oh, good. Hit them with multiple knives there. That's fancy. Honestly, we're pretty close to a level up anyway, so probably get a level up before we, make it to the, well, there goes the need for the greatsword, because this here steel hammer does the same damage, and it's all physical. I'll take it. Yeah, we'll probably get a level up before we get to the Widow, so that'll help a little bit with keeping us alive. Let me take a look at... Yeah, we'll definitely get a level, because we're only, what? Oh, only like 230 experience off, so yeah, we'll get there, for sure. I'll see what's in the next room before I commit to using a potion, honestly. I just want to make sure I'm not, like... I mean, I've got enough of them, so I guess I don't have to be too stingy. Ruthless Hammer. 8% critical hit damage. It has a weapon socket and a utility socket in it. Well, that's an instant upgrade to the other one, so I'll take it. I don't have any gems or anything to socket into it, but still, that's pretty nice. And look, there's another minor health regen potion, so that allows me to be more less stingy in terms of committing to using the health regen potion in the next fight. So there we go. I will use it right about now. There we go. Okay. How about now? Get them all in a row. Get my ducks in a row. By that I mean whack these spiders upside the head. Oh wow, I hit the one behind me. And again. Catch that other one. Okay, I meant to do a harpoon there, but I think I must be pressing the shortcut too quickly or something, because it keeps, like, eating the input, and that's not so good. I'll tell you what is good, though, this upgrade to our staff, the Staff of Dusk. I'm not really so concerned about the damage at night part. I'm more concerned about the fact that it's just a flat upgrade over the birch staff we've been using. It's the next tier of staff, even. So that's pretty nice. I'm glad we're getting these upgrades right before the boss fight, since these are the weapons that I'm basically going to be using for the fight anyway, so... It's nice when the game kind of hands that stuff to you on a silver platter when you need it, right? I've gone through this place with the base level staff previously. It's not a whole lot of fun. Okay. And there's our level up. Nice. There's an iron cuirass, not quite as good as the sturdy one we've got. If it was a steel one, I'd be damn down for that, but it's not, unfortunately. Oh well, it's a long way to go. Grab that guy. Anybody else want to make this, the end of this hammer their home? Because that can, okay, be arranged. It flows so nicely. I don't know what it is, but it's just, the hammer just makes sense in my head, man. Like, I feel like I understand the flow of its attack pattern so much better than most of the weapons in this game, and that's why I usually just use it. So, I mean, I'm the one playing the game, right? I don't have to keep justifying it, but I like to make sure everybody understands where I'm coming from, I guess. Alright, we did blacksmithing 3 last level, so blacksmithing 4 this time. Because we are not quite at level 8 yet, so we can't quite start working on that advanced stuff. So instead of that, we'll do this. And that'll get us the ability to use 4 components, and then it just increases the effectiveness of our repair kits a little bit. Again, we want to work on getting up to this so that we can use gems, and then also this and this, because the +1 will get us there. I do wonder when I buy mercantile skill, though, if the +1 might screw me over here, because, excuse me, I don't know if that's just considered a soft point. Like, it counts towards whatever bonuses are here, but it doesn't count towards your permanent skill points that are there. Because basic trainers actually, I think, only go up to level 3. I don't think they quite go up to level 4. Like, I think basic trainers are only 0 to 3, and then the advanced trainers are 4 to 6, and then the master ones are 7 to 10. That's what the wiki says. I don't know how true that is, but I guess we'll find out once we actually go to the place where the first mercantile trainer is, won't we? So, all right, another conservative casting level, another hardy constitution level, and the maximum level for Shadow Flare, and then we'll be good there. So right now, 17 physical damage, and then 5 blades, each deal 70 piercing damage and 14 bleeding damage over 7 seconds. Now I want you to understand, they stack with each other. So if I hit a single enemy with all 5 of those blades, because I'm right on top of them and they have a large hitbox, that's a lot of damage. This is why I like Shadow Flare, because it's not just a nice little utility, it's also got massive amounts of damage potential, so it works pretty good. Oh, and we're unlocking some stuff down here too. We've got access to Disciple now, which is the Finesse Sorcery one. We've got Guardian, which is Might Sorcery, and we should, have Might Finesse as well, but again, we're going to stick with Wayfarer. I thought about, though, maybe showcasing some different builds in like a bonus episode once we're finished with this playthrough, because I looked up a couple of other builds that I thought were kind of interesting, but, well, one of the builds, I'll just tell you how it all kind of worked out. One of the builds was a pure archer build, so like they were using longbow with finesse skills, and it was pretty interesting. I thought it was pretty cool, but they dropped the R word about 4 minutes into the video in 2023, which... it's like, really, man? We haven't moved on from using that? We don't know that it's derogatory at this point? Like, what are you thinking? But, yeah, so that didn't really trip my trigger, and I said, nah, I don't think I can show this, because that's just not how you talk about people. So, since I don't have that, I may do it myself. It'll take a little more blacksmithing, but I'm okay with it. I'll find enough materials. I'm not gonna like min-max the blacksmithing. You don't have to. This game isn't hard enough to justify it.
Here you are yet again.
Hi,
Say your
again.
hunger is great, unlike the Fae I slaughtered at Castle Yulvin.
Yeah, why did you slaughter them exactly?
Let us test ourselves
Aren't
against
you all
each
Fae?
other. I do not fear being cut down. I will rise again in time, unlike you.
Evidently, my reputation does not precede me yet. So, have to work on that, won't we? Okay. Ow, ow. That was more damage than I thought I was going to take here. Do one of those. These venom spitters, they don't seem to be taking as much damage unless I'm just looking at it wrong, which is possible. The venom spitters won't actually, oh, I see, she's healing them, that's why. Okay, that makes sense. Are you gonna spawn any giant spiders, ma'am? Because I'd rather you spawn those so I can, you know, get something out of reckoning mode here. Okay. I mean, if you don't, I'll just do this. And then we want this. This experience booster will last 60 seconds, so it should allow me, theoretically, to just whack all these guys, including her, upside the head pretty good. Ah, there's the giant spiders. Okay. So she's ready to go. Watch your fate meter up in the corner, though, because you want to make sure you hit her out of it by the time she's, whatchamacallit, before you run out of fate meter. So try to get as many of the giant spiders as you can before you run out, but if you can't, okay, hang on. There we go. So this should still kill her, even though I'm killing the spider, but don't run out of fate meter, because then all these guys will just be at 1 HP, so. We should still be able to take care of the rest of them now, though, without too many problems, because the rest of them should be mostly, yeah, almost dead. But as you can see there, with the minor experience booster, because we killed the boss there, we got 2,000 experience just for killing her and her spider brood. So, that's pretty good. It's definitely a reason why you want to save those experience boosters for boss fights. Now, what do you have? An empowering medallion. This gives us extra mana regen. And honestly, the extra regen might be a little bit more worth it if it was a little higher than just the health and mana we get out of the hardy one, but oh well. We also got some Essences of Fate, so that's nice. And Hunter's Fey Blades. Cool. But yeah, not too bad. Just chug a health regen potion and you'll be fine, honestly. Crude Chainmail Greaves. Those are not quite as good as the sturdy ones. And actually, the Greaves that I've got on are tier 2, now that I look at them. Because Chainmail is tier 2 metal armor, so. Interesting. Fine Chainmail Gauntlets. They're like the ones I have, but the ones I have plus 10 health on them, so. Alright then. Yeah, the Widow can drop some pretty interesting stuff. I've actually had her drop purple gear for me previously, and purple gear is ultra rare, and it usually has some of the best effects on it out of any of the stuff that you can get. So. I think the loot that she drops is set once you enter Cathris, though, so if you want to re-roll it, you'd have to redo the whole dungeon. And that's kind of a lot to ask, so I would say just take what you get. This, like I said, this game isn't hard enough to where you gotta be, like, re-rolling for gear or something like that, or min-maxing for it. Like, if you're really that concerned about it, just take 5 minutes out of your time and get some high-end blacksmithing materials and then smith the best gear, you know? Like, that's good enough. That'll keep you for long enough. So... Alright, let's go report our success in Canarok, and then we can work on the house and sell any other gear that we've got. I'll probably be swapping off of the staff again, though, once we leave the Webwood, because I don't think the enemies of Ettenmere are as susceptible to it as... they are to ye old hammer and bow, so probably be switching to hammer and bow once we go there. There might be more spiders, and that'll give me an excuse to switch back to the staff, but hammer and bow has done me pretty well when I've, gone through Ettenmere previously. Although I'll tell you what's been the most effective thing that I've ever done when going through Ettenmere is maxing Shadow Flare, so
If not, we'd be food for
now you know why I did it.
and the widow would be dancing on our remains. There is not enough gold to show our gratefulness. but this is what we can give. Take it, with our thanks.
Appreciate it. So, what are you going to do now?
I'm not much for leading towns, but I can protect it, especially with oak like yours. Thanks again, friend.
That's all good. Just glad you guys are going to be okay from here.
Be well.
Hello, stranger.
You too. Hello. Probably your side quest is going to take me back to your parents' house where I found all this good gear, so, maybe we won't do that. Okay, so I think if I remember correctly, there's some gear that you can get. A valuable commodity, huh? So that means it sells for a lot, right? I'm going to actually see. I'm going to go to a shop, I think, and see if I can sell that stuff. So, speaking of which, I think the shop is...
Is something wrong?
Well, I guess I could ask Siloretta. But you're right here, so...
I'm sorry for being hysterical with you earlier. I lost a husband to those monsters before you arrived, and I was sure to lose my son.
Sorry to hear that.
But you've saved us, Billis and I thank you for that, and wish I had something for your trouble. I'll give you all I can.
Well, the best thing you can give me right now is money for all of the excess loot that I have, so here you go. All right, a little extra cash on hand. Yes, the Canarok Gossamer is in fact worth quite a bit of money, and I don't think you use it for anything else. I think it's pretty much just like the jewel bracelet, where it's just like sell it for cash. So I will sell it for cash. I don't remember using it for anything else anyway, so... we don't need this because I have the other one. I'm going to get rid of the greatsword. I'll probably regret it, but I'm going to get rid of it anyway. Don't need this or this anymore. And we don't need this either because we have this bloodletting longbow, so we'll just keep that in mind. Essences of Fate are starting to sell for pretty good money. These are up to 644 gold, so that's pretty good. We're making our money. That's the thing, is that it feels like at the very beginning of this game, it's like, wow, money's kind of tight because we got to work on getting that backpack and doing all that stuff, but once you start selling gear that's like green or blue or purple or yellow, that's like, you know, high-end gear that's usually unique gear, once you start selling that because you're not going to use it for your build, you just start building the cash up. It just keeps on rolling in, so yeah, it's pretty good. You know, I might sell some of this blacksmithing stuff as well because we won't need a decent chunk of it, so well, anyway, I'll worry about that later. But yeah, that jewel bracelet sold for 840, not bad either. Let's see, I don't really need healing potions, we're pretty good there. If I need any potions, I'll go get the regen ones from what's-her-face over there. So I don't think you had anything in the weapons or armor that I care about, so let me see here. We have 9 of these, 1 of these, 5 and 4. So probably I'll buy 1 minor mana potion. Maybe I should buy a couple of mana regen ones as well once I work on the house. Oh, that was what I was going to say. When you work on the house... Man, somebody woke up on the wrong side of the bed. When you work on the house, you'll want to, I think, visit it between each upgrade, if I remember correctly, because I think the loot that's inside of the house will reset each time you go into the house. So I'm going to go ahead and just double check that right now while we go ahead and do that, and then we'll... Ooh, that's the wrong one. There we go. And then we'll go from there. I missed a couple of items from the spiders that I killed before when I had to defend the town. Another fine iron hammer. Put that away. And what about this? Crude iron longsword, minor current stopper. That's for lightning resistance. We don't really need that, so... Trying to remember which enemies actually use lightning later on. Oh well, we'll figure that out once we get there. By the way, that's one of the reasons why I like using the health and mana regen potions from here rather than just using the quick select ones that are available on the D-pad, because sometimes just being able to pause the game like this, it helps you think through the situation that you're in, right? It lets you look at it and say, okay, what can I do to get myself out of this mess I've got myself in? Usually, first of all, getting a little bit of health back every second helps, but sometimes it's nice to just pause the game and kind of take stock of what you see, you know? And in my personal case, it's kind of like how it was in Mass Effect 1, where you could kind of pause the game by pulling up the powers menu, and that lets you kind of take in the situation, assess it, and say, okay, I need to hit this person with a power, and then hit this person with another power, so that way I can kind of, you know, just take stock of the whole situation and work on it the way that I need to. So, okay, so this is your stash box. Because this is a player home, that means that this stash box can be used to safely store anything that you're not currently using, and it will always stay there for you for the rest of time. So that's cool. There's been another shipment of Canarok Gossamer made to your house. Thank you. And I guess you'll get some Canarok Gossamer every now and then when you check the stock there. You can also customize your appearance right here, so if you want to change up anything, the look of anything here, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I gave vague thought to the idea of maybe making myself look like Geralt from The Witcher, but I don't know if I could rock it quite as well as Geralt can. He looked pretty good in The Witcher 3 with the enhanced graphics that they had at the time. That game looked fantastic for the time it came out. There wasn't much else like it on the market. So I get the feeling if I tried to rock that in this game, it wouldn't really work so well. Okay, let's go make an upgrade. Then I'll go buy a couple of regen potions, and then we'll make another upgrade after I check what's in the house. Most of the upgrades aren't going to be anything that I need super substantially, but, you know.
Beams to cut, thatch and wattle to collect, and daub to form. We'll need more rope, more pulleys, and more than a fair bit of luck. I'm sorry, stranger. It seems I'm the man to get this village rebuilt. I have to get the next few months of work straightened out.
Well, it's good that you're making stock of it right now, because that'll make it a lot easier for you in the long run. The thing that you'll notice, by the way, about repairing gear is that the rarer the gear is, the more expensive it is to repair. So like this Staff of Dusk is pretty powerful and pretty rare because it's a blue item, so it's going to take more to repair it than other ones, but that's okay. This is why we're going to want to get repair kits situated eventually, so that way we can just buy the repair kits, because that'll actually cost less than the repairs themselves. So now that being said, we'll be rolling in dough eventually, so later on the repairs themselves being more difficult isn't going to matter, but, you know, or more expensive.
Fix up old Gossamer End for you. That place could use some expansion. I can put in a dining area for some gold. What do you say?
378 gold for you to build me a dining room? Hell yeah, dude.
We'll be ready in no time. Let me know if you want any further expansion.
Like I said, doesn't really cost a whole lot to make house upgrades. So, might as well do them. Alright, let's go take a look. Still haven't met these Niskaru, but they sound like deadly opponents from everything that the tips on these loading screens have told me. Let's hope they're not as disappointing as the Widow. I can't get over that, I'll be honest. Like, it just bothers me that, like, they say, oh, she's the Widow, she's the mother, the matron to hundreds of thousands of spiders. And then you get there and she's just another Fae. And I wish I could make that complaint uniquely about her, but I wanted to see them make a different type of monster, I guess. I don't know. Just feels like they're not making the effort, you know. But whatever. I don't know if I want that many regen potions. How much would that cost me? That'd be like 2,700? I can spare that. And then I don't have to buy those for quite a while now, so that's good. And these, I'll just buy one. But yeah, like I said, these are super cheap, and they give you quite a bit of health regen per second considering how cheap they are. So, like, I really think it's never not worth it to grab them, you know what I mean? So I'd recommend just grabbing them when you can. And frankly, I think we just got back at least the money that we used to purchase the health regen potions anyway. We'll have to get some more repair kits, but I can do that at the smithy anyway. Or the general goods merchant, actually. But that's okay. I think if I remember correctly, shops reset every 5 days in-game. So you might have to kind of make the rounds to different towns eventually, but it's okay. Is there anything else I need to... is there anything I needed to shop for while I'm thinking about it? Buy that I didn't buy? No, I don't think so. Wow, that sold for that much. That feels like more than... Oh, no, I know, because I exited the menu, so if I want to buy this back, this is the buy... Not the buy back price, this is the just buying it from her price. It's in her sold items, but I sold it to her previously, so... Alright, but now we're good. Yeah, I'm going to try not to hit the inventory limit there, loading screen. I don't think that's something that I want. That's why I bought a backpack. Alright, back in. Let's go double check on the work that he did and see if there's anything new for me. And we'll go from there. You can use the bed, by the way, to sleep for a little bit of time, and sleeping for a little bit of time will actually just give you, oh nice, a couple more health regen potions. It'll just maximize your health and your mana. So sometimes it's nice to just come over here and, you know, see if your delivery satchel has anything in it, and also just top yourself off after a mission is over, you know, so you can go to the shops, sell off your excess loot, buy excess stuff that you'll need for the next mission, sleep, and get yourself to max health and everything else, and then just fast travel back to wherever you were going, and you're good to go. It's the same benefits you get out of a player home in basically every video game, honestly. So I don't know what's with the little loot playing thing that's going on every time we walk into the Silken Seat. Maybe somebody's playing the loot? I don't know. Whatever.
Can't stop now. Thank you for your help with everything, but with half a town to rebuild, I have even less time than before. It's good to keep working. It reminds me that I'm still alive, that you saved us.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you guys are still alive as well. Got more upgrades to make?
It would be useful to have an alchemy workbench. I can add a room with one for some gold.
I don't really need an alchemy workbench, not planning on making any potions myself, but I can't get to the other stuff without it, so...
Come in handy in these neck of the woods.
Alright.
Stay alert.
Go see what he made there, and we'll also see if there is anything new. Like I said, in case any of the other stuff, like, restocks its goods. Like if that shelf that I just got that stuff from has new stuff in it, we'll know that we need to visit after each upgrade. If it doesn't, well, then we'll just make the rest of the upgrades right away, and then we'll be done. Excuse me. By the way, this isn't the only player house available in the game. I think there's like 4 other ones that you can get, but I'll probably just use this one. I don't think I'm going to need the other one, you know. Yeah, see, look at that. I got another health potion out of that. So it is worth it to come back here after each one. Now, the satchel isn't restocking, but, I mean, I expected that. That's probably timed. But the shelf is restocking, so this is why we have to keep walking back and forth, just because it'll get us a little bit of extra stuff, you know. So... is it worth it? I mean, probably not, but, you know, it'll only take a few extra minutes, and I'm not really in a rush. I still think, even with us walking back and forth like this, us wasting time like this, it's not going to take that long to finish the game, you know?
Can't stop now.
So.
Thank you.
Yep,
Good to keep
heard
working.
that one before.
The main floor has been expanded as much as possible, but I can squeeze in an attic for some gold.
Attic and a basement would be pretty good.
You'll be amazed when you see that attic.
All right.
Stay alert.
Thank you. Maybe I'll go do this quest as well. I've already been to the house, but...
The one who saved us all. The one who tamed Webwood. You have my thanks. If you're not busy, I have a request to make of you. It's about my home, Toff Farm. I think something has happened there.
Okay, well, let's feign ignorance, because we've already been there, but to be fair, we didn't know it was the Toff Farm. It just said that in the thing, but how would we know that, right?
That's just it. I don't know. I came to Kenrock some days before the first attacks. I was stuck here. Our farmhand, Cartery Jake, stumbled into Kenrock a few days later. He was tight-lipped about my parents at first. Then he said the spiders got them. Now he avoids me, avoids everyone. Something happened at the farm, but I can't bring myself to find out what.
Sounds like you need me to go to Toff Farm, so I'll go.
Thank you. I will give you whatever I have. Just bring me news of my mother and father. I need to know what happened there.
Can do. Where do I find them exactly? I mean, I
At
know,
Toff
but, you know.
Farm. I need you to find out what happened there. I lost contact with my family when the spider attacks stranded me here. Our farmhand, Cartery Jake, made it here a few days after the attacks began, but he won't give me a straight answer about my parents. I fear the worst.
I forget how this one goes. I forget if you can just go straight to the house or if you have to talk to Cartery Jake first. Like, I don't know if you can do that multiple ways, but... The reason why I'm doing these quests, though, usually I don't bother stopping and doing side quests unless it's like the one per area, like one per region that I want to go do. In this particular case, it's because it's Canarok, and since my player home is going to be here, it's going to make a little more... Oh, I can just fast travel right there. Nice. That'll make this a lot easier. It's going to make a little more sense for all of the NPCs here to be, well, happy and satisfied and not trying to, you know, run off into the wilderness and get each other killed or anything like that. So I figure if we take care of all these quests now, then they're just out of the way. I don't have to worry about them ever again. I don't have to look at them and be like, oh, you know, it's just reminding me of the fact that I didn't do them. So, because then eventually it'll be like, no, I should probably do them. Fine birch longbow, that's worse than the one we've got. Crude iron daggers, those are definitely worse than the one I got. He gave me a statue of somebody. Maybe it's supposed to be me in a bunch of suggestive robes. Billis, why do you look at me like that? Minor warrior strength, we'll stick that away. I don't usually use the potions that give like damage bonuses or anything like that because it's just like we already kill things so quickly in this game, you know what I mean? It's like, don't really need to worry about that. This letter bears the insignia of the Warsworn. Yeah, sorry guys, I don't need to do that quest line. History of Webwood. Sure, why not? We can read that. The Webwood was, rather embarrassingly, chanced upon by a group of Almain settlers who wished to find safe haven from the magical forests of Dalentarth by plunging south. Cheered on by the sunlight and relative calm of Yolvan, they continued south until they found trees that were as ancient and tall as those which dominate Odoroth. But unlike those lands, where sunlight is still seen on the forest floor, this southern wood was a place of dark and gloom, its trees covered in the silk of large and savage spiders. It was from this feature that the forest drew its name, Webwood. What drove them to stay at first, I cannot say for certain. Perhaps it was exhaustion from their journey, perhaps it was an enterprising individual who saw the profit that stood to be made. In any event, not long after discovery did the original settlers throw down their farming tools and invented a new means to earn their bread, silk farming. I'm pretty sure it would be invent in that case because you said throw rather than through. Whatever. Drawn by greed or insanity, these men and women would ascend the trees of Webwood to harvest the spider silk from its branches and then process it into the textile known today as Canarok gossamer. There have since been several attempts to try and modernize this rather barbaric means of survival, including one notorious attempt at establishing a spider farm. I'm sure that worked out great. But to this day, the art of silk farming is largely unchanged. It is only miraculous that the silk farmers have survived as long as they did, for the Webwood can be a dangerous place for those that are not always alert. The silk farmers will say that there is a silence in the wood unlike any they've heard elsewhere, and when it is silent, that is when a man best be afraid, for there are more than spiders that lurk in the shadows and webs of the forest. There is also the widow. Not anymore! From what I understand, the widow is a folktale as old as the forest itself. Allegedly a story passed on by the Fae, which I cannot understand, for the presence of Fae in this wood has always been minimal. The song of the widow is usually sung to the tune of this. A homicidal and beautiful Fae woman goes around seducing every man she sees only to kill them on their wedding nights. Perhaps it was meant to be a lesson to those that were not careful of the wood, or perhaps it was simply to give a bit of charm to a gloomy stretch of wilderness. It's about as charming as a grim tale, like Grimm grim tale. But it is clearly untrue. Yeah, of course. Why would it ever be true, right? I can sleep in this bed, too. Probably also break these boxes. Oh, okay. Like, what the hell? Who's texting me this time of night? It's the group text. Oh, they moved my bed upstairs. Okay, that's why. I was like, wait a minute. This still makes sense. I wonder how often that refills. Well, I guess we'll find out. I'll probably get like one gossamer per stream, honestly, because we'll be back here at least once per stream when we're wandering around in the wilderness, going through dungeons and stuff.
Stranger.
It's Cartery Jake, but I don't have a quest marker for him with the Toff Farm, so since I don't, I'll just go make the rest of my house upgrades, and then we'll go off to the farm. We'll grab... Probably there's something there that'll tell us whether the spiders killed her parents or whether Jake did it himself. And then we'll just bring it back.
There's roof beams to...
Yep,
well,
heard
I'll
this
have to
all
watch
before.
out for the riverbed, but I can add on a basement for some gold.
All right.
I'll go ahead and set up the basement with some plants and reagents. You'll love it.
Thanks, that should add a little bit to this place.
Stay alert.
I think there's one more upgrade after this, and then we're done with all this back and forth stuff. So that's 10 minutes of our lives that we'll never get back. Isn't that great? As we all march on towards death, here I am spending 10 minutes walking back and forth between my own house because I want to get the maximum rewards out of all the upgrades. I'm kidding. Oh, I don't know why I do this to myself sometimes. But we get it out of the way now, so that way we don't have to do it later, you know. So that's at least good, I suppose. Alright, alchemy table, don't have nothing in it. Weapon rack. Crude steel hammer. That's not bad to have around. This don't have nothing. What about you? Minor mana regen potion. Okay, now we've got 8 of them. Cool. Another bookshelf. Village of Canarok on chickens. Sure, I can read a little more. Let me take a drink, though, before I read. I feel like this is basically going to tell us exactly the same thing as what the Silk Farmers one did, so maybe I won't read this one. It doesn't really look like... Yeah, it looks like it mostly says the same stuff. Talks about the families, I guess, but nothing really interesting there. What about on chickens? Studying the nature of the common chicken. Okay. Really, someone wrote a dissertation on these damn chickens. I guess we'll read it. Part the first. The chicken is the silent titan upon whose back Amalur sleeps. Universally adapted as a staple in any kitchen of means, the chicken has proven its ability to thrive anywhere with minimal tending. Why then have so few of us learned folk devoted a tome, or even at least a passage or mention to the noble animal? Because you're too busy eating it. I aim to correct that now. I will conduct an unflinching and holistic analysis of the jungle fowl commonly referred to as chicken. And like any sane practitioner of science, I mean, that's debatable just at this point, I will begin my study with an anatomy of the graceful creature and its behavior. The most prominent feature of the chicken is, of course, its comb. Colloquially known as a scab ridge or Mitharu's mistake, this floppy mantle of flesh is actually referred to in learned circles as the grossia major in roosters and grossia minor in hens. Many have puzzled over the purpose of these growths, with many attributing them to some tool for communication, but that makes little sense. Do not chicks need to communicate? Why don't they have little grossia majors and minors as well? No, the chicken's comb is far more likely a vestigial rest that used to be used in fending off predators and navigating their original habitats. Oceans. Notice how the folds and contours of these growths resemble the fins of aquatic fauna. It is no coincidence. This is the stupidest thing I've read in a while. There are not only physical characteristics that chickens are reputed for. The chicken, specifically roosters, are reputed for the diligence they employ when signaling the start of the day. While the degree to which they participate in this behavior is somewhat exaggerated, these reports are based in truth. Roosters are eager to announce the start of every new day, but this behavior goes unexplained. Perhaps they are relishing the opportunity to mate for another day. Perhaps they have an affinity for Helios, god of the sun. In the end, none of us can speak chicken, so it is unknown. And the most valuable commodity of the chicken is, of course, its eggs. They are a lifeblood for the peasants and noblemen of Amalur alike, for it is their nourishment that gets us through the days and evenings. But why do chickens lay eggs in such quantities? Is it to ensure that at least some offspring survive? Probably. Instead, I believe that chickens have behaviorally altered their egg-laying physiology, colloquially known as an ovipositor matricula, to produce a surplus of offspring as a means of raising their race's global population. This guy's getting Marxian on me now. No doubt the beasts flourish in captivity, but they desire the freedom of their wild ancestors. It must be their hope, then, that drives them to flood the world with their kind, to the point where ownership becomes meaningless, and they are set free. Now I want chicken. It's time for chicken nuggets, I think. Now I want to go eat chicken, even though I just had chicken for dinner. That's sad. Anyway, a pocket charm. This can be sold, so we'll sell that. A Canarok primer. I think that's basically going to say the same thing as the book we read, so let's not. A songbook about the Widow of the Webwood. We won't need those anymore because the Widow's dead, so... This book covers the various peoples found across Amalur from Almain to Varani. Compendium 1. I guess we can read this one as well. How much is there? Okay. Not terribly too much. Compendium of the Peoples of Amalur by Lexius the Old. Chapter 1, The Almain. Almain history. The Almain are a nation of humans whose beginnings are tied with the rise of the warlord Balforth Almir, otherwise known as Almir the Bold or King Almir. Under his banner, the humans of the Alfar lands created a civilization and rose to prominence roughly around 177 before Arcana. So probably that's when magic entered the world. The nation is centered around Port Miria and the lands south and west of Dalentarth. For a complete history, read The Rise of the Almain by Zaria Keratin. Almain appearance. The Almain people vary biologically more than any other people of the Feylands, ranging from darker skinned than the Dokofar to as pale as Varani. Yeah, that's about right. And from nearly gnome height to nearly as tall as Jotun. The majority of Almain in the Feylands emigrated from Port Miria and are typically of a bronze-colored complexion with brown hair and eyes. As immigrants, Almain clothing is usually of a simple nature, favoring basic colors and little adornment. However, ceremonial and religious garb can be as ornate as that of the Alfar. Clothing is usually made from leather, furs, and fabrics such as cotton or wool. I really hope we find the Varani version of this book at some point, because it'd be a shame to read all this about a race that I'm not even representing. Whatever. Almain society. Almain society is structured on order and a rigid work ethic. Codes and doctrines of regularized life can be found everywhere in Almain homelands, and settlers are no exception. The Almain people worship Matharu more often than other deities, and laws are usually based on the teachings of the Voice of Three, Saints Odwig, Edric, and Hadwin. Almain traditionally followed a feudal system under King Almir's rule, and continue to do so with dogmatic distinctions between the nobles and commoners. Feudalism, huh? Alright, fair enough, I guess. This is a medieval game, after all. Kind of. Although there are many Almain merchants, they are not as entrepreneurial as the Varani, and serve as local suppliers more than as a class unto themselves. The Almain are considered a humble people by the Varani, and xenophobic and small-minded by the Alfar. They regard the Fae with a great distrust and suspicion, as Fae are alien to the tenets of Mitharu. Yeah, your religion can't really explain the Fae, can it? But, does that mean you're going to change your doctrine to support new data? My bet's on no. Okay, he's got a few alchemical ingredients in here. Not really stuff that I need, because I think a lot of it is buyable at shops. I would prefer if he put like some Scarlet Flowstone or something down here so I could make my own health regen potions, but whatever. Speaking of which, let's see if any of this stuff is stuff that I should store here. Stick that in there. Okay, I think that's about it. I guess we only have an 155 item limit in our stash box, but I don't think we'll ever quite get to that point. I'm mostly just going to use it to store extra potions and stuff that I have too many of. So, and probably eventually we won't even carry around the regular health and mana potions, because the regen will just do enough for us. Hell, the regen's mostly doing enough for us now, and we don't even have any health or mana regen on our weapons or armor yet. Just wait until we start blacksmithing that stuff and putting that on our weapons and armor passively. Oh, baby. That will be, well, interesting. I'm going to try not to make it too ridiculously overpowered, but no guarantees.
There's roof beams to... I'm sorry, stranger. It's
yes, yes.
If you're interested in more storage space, I can expand your basement for some gold.
Sure.
Be careful when you go in there. Somehow a spider got in when I was doing the last upgrade.
You let a spider into my house? Okay, whatever. I'm not even going to bother looking at what else is in there.
Do one last
I'm just going to do the last one so we can get this over with. I didn't realize it was this much. This might even get rid of the spider, honestly.
This will be the last upgrade I can give you. I hope you like everything I've done.
It's good work, Billis. Thanks for all the help. Do I have anything to repair while I'm here? Nope.
Keep safe.
All right, cool. You too. Well, despite the fact that I've done all this stuff for them, I can't loot any of the chests that they have anywhere because they will try to smack me upside the head if I do. So that's fine. All right, let's go see the last little upgrades in our house. Then we'll go back to Toff Farm really quick, grab whatever is not nailed down again, except the bones and the skulls, because I don't think I need any of that. And then once we're done with that, we'll make our way into Ettenmere. And we'll see how much of that we can get done. We got about 45 minutes left, so we might be able to get the oratory done. But we'll see. Alright, weapon rack, crude iron fade blades, nothing good there. Nothing in the satchel. Shelf. Another health regen potion I can put away once we get that far. Bookshelf. Another songbook. Is this for the widow again? Alright, that's fine. Just stick it in junk so I can sell it off once I'm done here. Desk. Tattered documents, an invoice, and a Canarok primer. I usually don't grab this stuff, but I'm going to add it to junk because I don't want my house getting cluttered by all this crap. Somebody left me some gold in here. That's nice. This small book is a volume of The Adventure, a famed journey through the Winter Fey lands. That might be useful because we're probably going to be going to the Winter Fey lands at some point, considering that's where Gadflow is. Let's take a look. This is adventure number 4. The Words of Sol and Rheimgar is chronicled by Partholon. Don't know how much this will help us since we haven't seen adventure 1 through 3 yet, but, you know. We can halt here for the evening and talk of strategy. Eventually we will approach the Will-O-Wisps. They are fey creatures, and the very sight of them can lead to our doom. It is said they will draw mortals into an unending labyrinth, and there they starve, forever following the blinking lights. They will surely lead us astray, as is most likely their very purpose, placed here to distract us from our goal. So I say we meet this challenge with our wits rather than our brawn. Blindfold yourself and tie a rope so as not to be separated. I will walk among you, fasten to this rope, and Atten and Herkold, you will keep me from the lure of the Will-O-Wisps. May Mitharu grant that I am able to keep my wits about me and guide us past. If you feel me pull wantonly upon the rope, know that I am ensorcelled by their magics. Keep to the path as best you can, and we will prevail. Interesting. I'll have to keep my eyes out for them Will-O-Wisps, I guess, when we go there. I don't remember that mechanic of the game, but maybe it's just it's just a tale, I guess. Spider? Did you get out? Did he beat you up when he expanded out the Sagecraft altar and the blacksmithing table for me? Crude steel chakrams, crude birch longbow. Okay, well, nothing terribly good, but it's cool. Is there a blacksmithing table in here, or do I have to do my smithing in the thing? Oh, okay. I have to do the smithing in the actual... I mean, I guess that makes sense, right? Like, he wouldn't want me to do my own blacksmithing in here, because then he'd be out of a job, so he wants me to do it in his place, where he can, you know, actually control the market a little bit, so... That's fine. Well, anyway. Now that we're done with that, let's go to Toff Farm. We'll turn this quest in, and then I'll sell off all my junk after we're done with that, and then we'll head towards Ettenmere. And what we'll do there, because I don't think there's any shops or anything in there, because that place is hostile to the max, and it's off in this direction, straight this way. We end up in where we need to go, so there's one. And the second one should be here somewhere. Well, there's one down there and one over there, that's the point. But, yeah, there's no real shops or anything over there because of how hostile the place is. So we'll probably just be trying to find, like, fast travel points, and then if we have too much inventory before we go in, I'll go back to Canarok or Gorehart or one of those. Actually, those are the only two we have right now. And we'll use that time to sell stuff, and then we'll go back to the fast travel point and go from there. So, but anyway, back to this farm. Let's do some searching. See what we can find. Well, we already know there's some dead people here. Those are likely her folks. This corpse has a whole bunch of stuff, and also Cartery Jake's knife, an unassuming dagger used to kill the family at Toff Farm with the initials CJ etched on the hilt. Well, I guess we know who actually did it. Probably made it look like the spiders did it, but they probably moved in afterwards. So let's go see what the meaning of this is with Jake. Was it just that he wasn't getting paid enough? Well, let's go find out, shall we? It won't be the news that What's-Her-Face wants, but I guess at least she'll know the answer finally. Alright, let's go find Jake, and then we'll head out in the exact opposite direction of where I just entered town. So, Cartery, I hear you've been getting up to some stabbing.
So, the savior comes for Cartery. What do you want?
I want to know why your knife was plunged in the back of one of the toffs, actually.
You did? I must have left it behind when I was fleeing those spiders. The damn things were everywhere.
You can drop the act, man.
I can see you're not convinced. So that toff brat sent you to do a little digging.
Yeah.
It was a matter of time before she learned what I did to her parents. But you found out first. A stroke of luck. Now, let's come to an arrangement, shall we? Say, a heavy purse for your silence?
How about my boot up your ass? Also, why did you kill them first before we get to
Carolyn
that
and
point?
I fought at the gates of Mel Senshir years ago. We deserted before we saw our second battle.
Okay.
When we came here, she invited me to join her and her husband Ima and their daughter on that farm. It was a simple life. I thank the gods for it.
So what happened?
Then Carolyn and Ima decided to return to the war and bring me with them. When they insisted, I used the only skill war ever taught me.
Because you didn't want to go back to the war with them? I mean, likely they would have stayed when they learned that their daughter was in danger of all the spiders. Hell, this place might not have been such a shithole when I got here if you had let them live. So I don't think a heavy purse will pay my silence.
Really? The wandering hero is going to bring me to justice? I think not.
I mean, you're saying that, but
Before, and you shall be my third.
you're literally in a corner right now, man. Like, what do you think you're gonna do? Alright, not much, evidently. Because I couldn't even... I whacked him upside the head twice, and that's it. Like, I mean, good on him for getting out of that corner, but, like, it wasn't enough to save him, evidently. Alright, then. Well, Menry's gonna be a little unhappy by the news, but, again, at least she'll know.
I can't believe Cartery killed them. My mother and father had been his friends for years, before I was even born.
Evidently, he didn't feel that way
He
about
did
them
all
after
this just to avoid the war.
that.
I knew my family was likely dead, but I thought it wouldn't be over something like this.
Seems pretty
Thank you
petty,
for your
yeah.
help. Here is your reward, as promised.
Thank you. Sorry about your parents. Silk Farmer gloves.
Safe journey.
1,000 experience. Well, they're just handing it out now, aren't they? Silk Farmer gloves. Ooh, purple. They're finesse ones, but those are pretty good, actually. 5% critical hit damage, 8% poison damage, 10% poison resistance, 15% health, and 5% experience bonus. They're also better than what we have, but we need 10 finesse in order to even equip them. I'll hold on to them. They're better than the chainmail gauntlets we have currently. So, yeah, I'll hang on to them, and we'll see if I end up using them when we get to 10. It's going to be until level 9 before we can do that, but hell, we're almost level 8 at this point, so I gotta imagine it won't be too long, and maybe we'll be able to make do with them, you know? Alright, so we're done with all of our side stuff, our tasks, and everything like that. Let me actually turn right around and go find What's-Her-Face, even though she's sleeping at the moment. Not Billis, not Barton, not Menry. She probably sleeps upstairs. The general goods merchant is the one I'm looking for. see. Yeah, here she is. Did I buy repair kits from you? I forget. Yes, I did. Okay. So let's buy one more. So that way we're up there. And repair kits are pretty cheap as well, so they usually, it doesn't cost too much to get you to that point, you know. So. To just have them on hand, you know. It usually doesn't cost too much just to have them on hand. That's what I meant to say. So there you go. Don't really need any of that stuff. We've got 60 inventory slots that we can just use before we run out of room.
Widow,
So.
spare you.
The widow doesn't have to spare me, ma'am. The widow is dead. She'll never have to spare anyone again because she couldn't even spare herself. All right, let me take a drink and then we'll head out of town. En route to Ettenmere. Finally. Feels like we've taken quite a bit of time taking care of this whole widow business, but it's done now, so at the very least there's that, and we can worry about other more important things to worry about. I still have, yes, I still do have the staff out. Okay, good. Yeah, I didn't think so. Figured I'd give it a shot, but didn't think it was gonna work. So, alright, which way are we going here? So, 3 venom spitters, and we just want to head down the main road. Alright then. I'm just gonna do that. If the venom spitters come over and try to, you know, approach and attack, that's fine. I guess they did. So, I will whack them upside the head. Get rid of them. Get the little extra experience out of it, because why not at this point? And then we'll move along. We're doing pretty good on levels, though. Like I said, you want to be at least level 5, in my opinion, before you head to Ettenmere if you're trying to, like, steamroll through the story. Because the enemies here, if you're lower than level 5, can be pretty tough. They don't stagger as well when you're at a lower level to them. So, because they're larger than, you know, the normal enemies. I'd also recommend, if you can, at least putting 1 point into Shadow Flare before coming here. If you're going to do like me and max it out, so much the better, but you don't have to. So. Oof. Felt that one in my bones. Spider sense was a tingling. I said, okay, we're just going to fix that real quick. Okay, that, take care of that a little bit, and then, okay, well, that didn't exactly work how I was hoping for it to work, but that's okay. Didn't really take too much damage in the interim anyway, so guess it doesn't matter too much now, does it? Oh, another lore stone. We'll eventually be able to see where all of them are on the map, by the way, once we get our detect hidden as high as we can. I see a unique hammer. Student's hood. Don't need that. Earth gavel! Oh, man, it's the stun hammer. That's awesome, because stun is actually one of the things that I'd like our build to work on. 15 health, extra health, 10% chance to stun. Let me get away from the detect hidden log first before it deafens all of us. Alright, now let's take a look at Earth Gavel. Because finding a unique hammer on a playthrough where I'm using a hammer is always nice. Earth Gavel. Looks like an Etten hammer, actually. This hammer's history is a long one, dating back to its original crafting by the Fae. Okay, it's a Fae hammer. Eventually, the hammer traded places between Fae giants and mortals alike. Cool. I'll take it. It'll probably cost an arm and a leg to repair, so I'll probably have to repair it with repair kits instead, but that's okay.
On the 3rd year of passage, Tyrion entered Dalantarth. In dark wood and Faeny field she strode, until from wandering she was taken to the roots of mighty Velagru's child. So laden with Lyria's song, a greater magic known to none, she communed with nature's spirit, but the lyric she sought was not found. So to the plains of Erethel travelled the Lyria-guided Tyrion. Wind chased her swarthy cloak and tresses, masked her against the moonlit plains.
Plains of Erythel are quite a ways away from here. She's traveled quite a distance.
So long ago marked us. Tyrion marched against the celestial expanse. Beneath the diamonded sky, she found her rest.
So she died, or what? Uduath. I guess we could go up there after we're done here. Probably, the way that Ettenmere works is it kind of goes in a big circle. There's a few islands in the center of it, and they're all surrounded by a bunch of water. So if you really want to make your way to Delak, probably the safest way to travel would be just swimming across the islands to get to it over on the corner here. Probably the same thing with the Oratory, but we're going to go by land just because there's more experience to be had. So...
Lord Ferrara, valiant warrior,
I don't know if this place is discoverable. I think it's just an outpost. Ooh, I see a something to swim for, though, so we'll swim for that too while I'm thinking about it. Wonder if I can swim underneath here. Yep. Okay. Good, because I didn't feel like swimming all the way around. Well, if we discover a spot here, we'll get a little extra experience. If we don't, well, that's fine. I'm not planning on... Holmstead. Okay. I'm not planning on sticking around to find out. Oh, an easy chest. Okay, sure. Let's see. Yeah, that's a little closer, I think. I was gonna say, it might not be quite it, but... Apprentice's staff... Eh. And the rest I'll hold on to. We're already almost level 8. We got so much experience for the Widow fight and for those little quests that we did. That really, it was just that one quest that we did, honestly. I'm sure these guys have plenty of quests for us to do, but I'm not really interested in all that, so... It's a hard chest. It's Prismerit. Iron Greatsword. We got another minor experience booster for free, so that's kind of nice, but... I don't know. I know where I can buy them, so it doesn't really bother me to have to go buy them. I guess you could sleep here if this bedroll is... Yeah, this bedroll is free, so you could sleep here if you want to get a little extra HP back. A bunch of rocks. Well, we don't need Apprentice's hand wraps. Off I jump into the water. I think there was one over here. Yeah, there's one over there. And then we'll try to head back for dry land. I know I said I wasn't going to be swimming as much, but I see little pockets of treasure, and I like to get these dive spots too, because usually they've got, like, it's one of those places where you'll often find shards, and I'd rather have as many shards as I can get my hands on, you know? So, okay, there's one more dive spot over there. Hammer of Skill. It's not quite as good as the Earth Gavel. Earth Gavel's probably going to carry our hammer damage for quite a while here. Probably won't get anything better till we get a tier 3 hammer, honestly. 58 damage is no joke at this point. Oh, another minor experience booster. Cool. Well, that's multiple bosses we've now got lined up where we don't have to worry about getting those. So that's good. We're also almost at level 8, and it's just in time too because we're about to run into some new enemies and they can be a little tricky to deal with. So, do I want to use the bow to start with? I guess it decreases their defense, but I could just Shadow Flare them and get the same effect. So maybe we'll go back to Sword and Hammer. And we don't need the Ruthless one anymore. So we'll see how Sword and Hammer work for now. And then if it doesn't really work out, I'll switch to Hammer and Bow. And see if I can... Well, no, actually, I'll switch to Hammer and Bow right now. How about that? We'll see if that works. And then we'll go from there. And might as well make a save, because we haven't done a hard save since Cathris, so do it now. And then we'll move right along. We'll head to the Oratory. I keep wanting to say Ostuary. I don't think it's Ostuary even. I think it's Ossuary, like it was when we buried those remains. But whatever. It's fine. Is it worth going up there? What's up there anyway? Barguests. I don't know. Wolf, wolf, and wolf. Haven't seen any of the new enemies yet. I think they're down here, if I remember correctly. Like, they'll spawn near, well, those flames and those spikes. And they're a little larger than the things that we're used to fighting at this point. Oh god. Well, that was almost bad. Okay, took care of your backup. Let's see what you've got, Etten War Priest. Oh god. He's got hands, is what he's got. Jesus. Ow. Okay, well, that hurt a little bit. Not staggering, which is a little unfortunate, but... Okay, so what I need to do is I need to Shadow Flare him after doing this, probably. But yeah, see how all of those hit him there? All of the blades hit him? Helps quite a bit for dealing the extra damage to him. Okay, got him. Cool. And that takes care of that. But yeah, these Etten can be pretty difficult. This is the hardest version of the Etten that I think we can encounter currently. So, but they can be pretty difficult, even at like level 5, because sometimes their attacks are just a little bit funky to dodge and block. So, just be careful with them, because they can mess you up, as you can plainly see by the fact that I had to use a health regen potion there. Alright, but we got a level up out of that fight, so let's level up, shall we? What are we doing at this level? Let's see. Detect hidden 5. Oh yeah, because we can get advanced stuff now. Cool. We're doing detect hidden 5. And we're only one level off of our next upgrade for our destiny, so that's cool. So detect hidden 5 to work our way up to 6, which will get us access to 7 to show traps on the minimap. So there we go. And now that we've maxed out Shadow Flare, we want to start working on Frost Trap, because Frost Trap will be pretty useful. I haven't been using it nearly as much as I probably should, to be honest. Because if enemies are going to run up to me, I might as well just whack them with it, you know? Just put it down and then let it do some work for me. Ooh, I knew I saw something in the water. This place is also pretty dangerous because it's also, if you didn't do the House of Ballads first quest there, it's also probably the first place you're going to fight a Thresh, because there are Thresh on some of the islands, so you got to be a little careful around here. It can be challenging to walk around in here. And don't just think, oh, well, you know, I'll just swim around all this and then I'll be fine, because there's actually an Etten mini-boss inside of Delak as well, so even if you swim around them here, you cannot escape from crossing Fate. Because Fate will find you eventually. Okay, over here. Fine iron hammer. I'll take it, I guess. Oi, big guy. How's your health plan? You're not really, whatchamacallit, easy on the uptake, are you? Well, you'll pay for it. You'll notice there that that one was significantly easier. There were two reasons for that. One, he stunned a lot easier than the War Priest, who had a little more armor. And two, I also inflicted bleed on him with the charged arrow. So that actually helped quite a bit with taking him down quickly, because when you inflict bleed, like I said, it decreases their defenses by 33%. So that can be pretty helpful. So if you see them on the road, you're probably going to want to charge up a shot for them, even if it's just wolves. At this point, wolves won't really cause me too many problems, but... you know. You might as well do what you can here. Goodbye, Sir Wolf. Probably should have just shot him with an arrow at the end there, but oh well. Alright, Oratory's down here. Let's head this way. Another Etten. At least one. They've probably got some wolves with them. Oh no, there's 2. 3 Etten. 3 Etten. Ah, ah, ah. Here you go. Have fun with that. You really did have fun with that. Wow. Good on you, man. Okay. Gotta watch, because these hand ones, they have a 2-hit combo, so it can be pretty nasty. Especially if you don't hit them with, like, a whatchamacallit. Oh god. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Especially if you can't stun them. If you can't stun them, it makes this a lot harder than it has to be, so. Ow. As you can see, they inflict enough damage that my just regular block can't fully account for the damage that they're dealing to me anymore, even. So, like I said, they're tough. Gotta be a little careful. I mean, you can pretty much just face tank most of their damage, chug a health potion, and be fine, but there's some of the tougher enemies at this point in the game. They represent probably a bit of a difficulty spike for new players. So, just be a little careful. Although, honestly, a lot of the trouble that you might have in the early game is just because you lack health regen, right? So, like, once you get access to greater health regen and have, you know, health regen to the effect of what you could get from a potion, which you can eventually get on your armor in exchange for just a little bit of smithing, it won't be as big of a deal because you'll heal all this HP back in the process of just walking around. So I'll have as much HP regen as I had as a barbarian warrior back in Champions Return to Arms, and that was a significant amount of HP regen, to be fair, so. You come here. Meant to do that, but I dropped my combo. Oh well. It happens. Were you two the only ones here? Is this Etten gonna walk up on me after I take the contents of his chest? Probably, right? Well, let's see what we can find in here. Why not? Excuse me. I was gonna say, I think I need to go buy some more lockpicks at some point, but we haven't really had too much trouble with them, so I'll take it. If it works, it works. Alright, Ballad's Oratory. By the time we are done here, we may just be level 9. And again, that'll get us our next destiny. Tier 3 of the Universalist build, so that's good. But who's hanging out over here? Ray Kildene. Hello there.
Well, look at what we have here. Truthfully, I never expected to see another civilized soul out here in Ettenmere.
Yeah, this isn't my normal
Something about
route,
the giant
to be
hairy
fair.
monsters must keep people away.
I gotta imagine.
Meet you. The name is Ray Kildene, purveyor of fine sagecrafting goods and friend to the House of Ballads.
Nice. That's what I'm here for, actually, the House of Ballads. So, what do you got? Actually, I've got some stuff, so I'll sell that to you first, and then I'll see what you have. Okay, so he will actually sell gems. So if you're not planning on doing any sage crafting, you can probably grab a few gems from him. So the unfortunate part is that a lot of them are very expensive. So they have some good effects, obviously. I mean, this one is the highest level gem of lifesteal that you can put on a weapon, but yeah, no, it's a little on the expensive side. He'll also sell some shards, so if you need shards, you can buy from him. I don't really need any shards myself, because we're probably going to get enough of them just from walking around. So, ooh, and we can put the Silk Farmer gloves on, actually, next level as well, so that's kind of nice. It probably won't look great with my armor, but, you know, it's better than what I've got at the moment, so I might as well use it, right? Anything down here that I need to sell? Probably just the regular stuff that's down there, but you know, dispel fake cash, it's average. I don't think I want to mess with that, honestly. I think I'd rather leave that alone. All right, into the oratory we go. We can unlock it with the signet ring, so definitely don't sell that, because Actually, I don't think you can sell it until the end of the quest line, because I think it's considered a quest item, so it can't be, like, sold, even if you attempt to. So. Alright, well, anyway. We have a few Fae here. We've even got a queen, apparently. Interesting. So, King Wenson, what goes on?
When Hallam told me a mortal had taken the open seat, I did not believe him. But here you stand before me.
And with a Fae weapon strapped to my back, no less.
It is a pity about Sagar, a grand hero. But there's not time to raise the king's token in his honor. We need every hand carrying a sword for the coming battle.
Well, I have a hammer and a bow. Is that going to work?
Sir Ferrara, our brother in the Court of Enchantments. It is time for his telling of the Ballad of Bloody Bones.
Okay. So, we've kind of got an idea of what the Ballad of Bloody Bones was before we left, so where's this Sir Ferrara person?
Ferrara went in pursuit of his nemesis, for Bloody Bones has emerged, poised to abduct a maiden to be his mistress. So goes his song.
Right.
You will need to revive Ferrara after the battle. I can only assume Hallam would not have sent you unprepared for this task.
No, I got a resurrection potion.
And quickly, when the two of you finish, I will await you at the House of Ballads in the north. Do be careful, Sagril.
Well, we don't know that Sagril's soul is the one that came into my body, but at least they're referring to me as such. So where's this hollow?
Uduath is northwest.
Ah,
on the
okay.
shores of Ettenmere. It is sealed by a powerful spell, but Bloody's magic is weak. You should be able to gain entrance.
So we probably should have marked Uduath on the map, because then we could have just gone straight there. But that's okay. We'll just walk. Actually, I'll probably just fast travel to the homestead there, and then we'll just go straight north, take care of the boggarts, and then go from there. They said they'll wait for us at the House of Ballads to the north once we're done, so probably what we'll do is we'll go in. I don't think we'll quite get done with all of Uduath today, and if we do, that'll probably be the last thing that we do. And then we'll just, we'll go to the House of Ballads just to turn in the quest. And then, or maybe I'll wait to turn in the quest till we're done in Delak, because I think that'll take us to a couple of other places once we're done in Delak, and then we can go to the House of Ballads and turn it in once we're all done in Ettenmere, you know? So, we'll see. See what makes more sense to me by the time we're done. Oh, okay. That barrel exploded for no reason. Seems a little suspicious to me, but I got more important things to do. Yeah, you could go out this way as well to get to Uduath and just go around, but I'll just go this way. There's a chance of some more Etten spawning over there, so I'll just take the safe path. The safe path that takes me to these boggarts, plague bearers. Okay, well, that didn't really hit either one, so. Nice, I swung too early. Or rather, and didn't put enough, whatchamacallit on that. I think I did a little too much ending lag on that one. I, like, delayed my swing. Which is not something you should do when you're fighting quick little demons like these guys. Minor precision. Okay. Not really worried about that. Critical strikes are fine, but not really something I necessarily need to worry about. And we are topped off to go into Uduath. So in we go. Okay, so real question is, how large is this place? That's a jump point. To keep that in mind. Nice cache right at the beginning. Kite shield with the anti-venom. That's a little worse than what we've got, so take the rest of that stuff, though. Oh, okay, so it's actually a higher point. Usually when they darken the topography on the map, that means it's a lower point, but in this case, I guess it makes sense that it's a higher point. Okay. Probably that's a storm champion that he's fighting over there, which is why they're able to do that. So. I was gonna say, I said! Caught me with some AoE there. I've caught you in the corner, though, so it doesn't matter what kind of AoE you've got.
Immortal? Is this Wenson's idea of humor?
Something like that.
You look hardy enough. Won't botch the tale of Bloody Bones too badly, I suppose.
Nice hair, dude.
I'm curious as to how Hallam expects you to bring me back from the edge of the Great Cycle. But that's his problem, not mine.
I've got the potion for it, so I won't worry about that too much. What should we... See, that's the thing, right, is that they've got all these options down here, right? But it's one thing that kind of annoys me a little bit about Kingdom of Amalur. A lot of these options are just talked about in the blue option, so you don't really even have to talk about this stuff because you get enough information out of the blue option to basically answer any of these. It's like, well, what's even the point of putting that stuff there, you know?
Let me be truthful with you, Dustling. I've never seen Bloody Bones act so erratically. He cares nothing for the story, as if he craves a different outcome.
He probably does, to be fair.
Spiriting away a young mortal maiden, he took an entire camp. Men, women, children. It's mad. It's certainly not part of the tale. And I thought this ballad couldn't get any worse, considering my impending demise.
Yeah, that's usually a problem.
Let's get this over with, shall we?
Alright then.
The hunt goes on.
Free the prisoners. Cells open 0 of 5. Alright, we will do that. Bandits chakrams, I'll take those first. And actually, let's equip some other weapons because the Etten outside, what we've got on currently, would work pretty well. But for what's in here, we're probably going to want to go back to non-elemental, which is the sword and the hammer. So let's just use that and go from there. Anyway, we got to open up these cells to let the settlers free, and I guess they're going to wander their own way out while Sir Ferrara and I take care of the rest. I think they always wander directly towards whatever path you came from, so I don't think they can ever really, like, get caught on enemies, if I remember right. I guess we'll find out in a few minutes, but... Brownies, that's what you're gonna put against me? Alright, then.
They could be anywhere.
They could, in fact, be, yes. But I think the prisoners, at the very least, will be right here. Just keep heading to your left, my right. Crude Elm Buckler. I think that's a tier 2 shield. Yeah. So, Crude Birch Scepter, that's a tier 1 scepter. And scepters, in my opinion, are already pretty bad. So, I think if I remember correctly, scepters use mana when you shoot with them. And they're not particularly strong, considering they're one of the only weapons. I think they may be the only weapon that uses mana. So... yeah, I don't know. Never really something that I've been particularly enthusiastic about using. It feels like a bow, but with less... I don't know. They feel even worse to use than bows, in my opinion, so... Alright. Some steel Fey Blades, so there's your tier 2 Fey Blades if you're looking for them. Quite a bit of loot in here, though, so far. Not all of it good, evidently, based on that chest, but, you know, it happens. Just keep heading in the direction of no enemies, and you'll get out. Band of Justice, 5% critical hit damage with physical. It's probably not as good. Because critical hits are kind of like an RNG-based thing anyway, so I might as well just keep the one that gives me straight-up damage, you know? And we need the signet ring to do these quests anyway, so, like, by the time we get anything that'll replace it, I can't... We might not even get anything to replace it, to be honest, because I can't imagine it being, like, pestilent brownie. Alright. Okay, then. Yeah, I was gonna say, whenever you're ready there, Mr. Whatchamacallit? Ferrara, to help me out. Okay. Well, I was going to do a shadow flare there, but we see how that worked out. Watch out, Ferrara. I got this one. Sometimes it's just tough with those Storm Champions because they just barely decide they want to slide their way out of whatever you're doing when you're trying to attack them. Like, they'll slide up to you and then they'll slide back with their attack. So it can be tricky sometimes, but nothing we can't handle. How are we doing inventory-wise? Oh, we got plenty of room. Okay. I mean, I did just sell all my junk to that guy outside, so I suppose I should expect that.
No time, thanks. Run!
Yeah, you should probably do that. Head out that way. We'll head this way. And we should be good to go. Well, one more cell left to go there, Sir Ferrara. See what we can find. Oh, okay. A poison trap. Oh, no. I've been poisoned. Alright, let's see if I can grab a Storm Champion. Okay. I think I still got hit by that, actually. Oh, God. Well, I'll just run away from it for now. Take care of the Storm Champion while I'm at it. Or just, you know, get whacked upside the head by a whole bunch of stuff. That's fine. Yeah, once you take care of the champions, the others have a tendency to fall after that, so... Okay, well, you know, I should probably just chug a potion. Alright. I was getting too overzealous there, I think. And the Storm Champion did that thing that I said they could do, where they backstep, basically, while you're attacking them, and they just stop staggering. I just need to get better at recognizing when that happens and parrying again, basically, so that way I can not get whacked upside the head and punished for not paying attention. Sylvan Order, a bow. So we got a unique hammer, and now we have a unique bow to work with, and it even gives bleeding damage. Cool. Painted to resemble steel, decorated in the Summerfey manner, the eclectic style of this bow belies its simple, deadly enchantments. Perfect. That's a better one than what we've got. And we're getting some pretty good upgrades to our stuff here, honestly. I'm happy with all the stuff we've gotten. The Staff of Dusk is nice. Excuse me, the Sylvan Order's nice. We just need a sword, and then we'll be in great shape. Alright, next things next is Bloody Bones himself, and he's flanked by a whole bunch of sprite champions, if I remember correctly. So ideally, my plan of action here, since we're going to do this before the end here today, just so we can get it out of the way, we'll go for a little length, because why not? It might even get us... I mean, we've got Reckoning mode, so that'll help quite a bit with dealing with these guys, but... yeah, so we'll just take care of this and then get it out of the way. We'll get a whole bunch of experience for it, ideally. And then we'll just finish this place up and go from there. So this is Bloody Bones, huh?
The witch was right. Help has come from Sir Ferrara the Fair, who flounders in the puddles of Uduath. Such a champion should never lose his way. Not in his own song.
It sounds like you're the one making him lose his way, though.
Leave now, forsaking the last prisoners, and I will share with you my knowledge. How I came to change things. Stay, and you'll have nothing but corpses.
I mean, I'll have your corpse. Unfortunately, that knowledge will probably die with you if that's the case. What's this witch you're talking about?
Oh, I don't know who she is. I don't care. What concerns me is power. The power to end this pitiful design. In every song, the summer champion triumphs. His enemy falls.
Right.
How long has this been the way of the telling? This existence. It is not a life. It is not a death. It is a snare in which I have struggled for centuries. No more.
I would expect that out of a mortal. I don't know that I would expect that out of a fae. Usually they're pretty well steeped in their traditions. And also, I came here to get these people out, so I'm not about to abandon them because you're going to tell me how you figured this shit out. I mean, I'd like to know if there are other people that are fateless out there, sure, but not that badly.
Never change with your lot. Lazy, loud, and obsessed with your own reflection.
This is not about narcissism, my friend.
This is about clinging to the past.
That's what you're doing, though. Well, you're trying to break free from the past at the moment, but
the great ballads. Others will rise up. The witch is making it so.
maybe I need to have a meeting with this witch then.
But will they survive long enough to escape?
I mean, they will if I make it so. You stay here. As much damage as I can get off on you before they get here will be helpful. Alright, what do we got here? So we got sprites of all colors. Oh no, it's just a storm champion. Okay, well, we can handle the storm champion. Oh god. Ow. Holy shit. That did a lot of damage. Why am I messing around anyway? I might as well just do this. Take care of these guys first. Okay. Grab the sprite. No, you come here. Okay, hold on. I'm about to get stun locked for 2 seconds before I can fight you. Okay, now you. Okay, now Bloody Bones himself. Gotta be quick about this, and it's not gonna happen because my fate's about to run out. Well, that's unfortunate. Because again, that leaves them all alive with like a little bit of HP if this is what you do, and it doesn't get you nearly as much experience, especially if you whiff your harpoon again, as you would have gotten otherwise, so. Well, fight worked out. Do I want to redo it just to get the extra experience? I don't know that I do, honestly. Hand Drops of the Squall, Scalding Scepter, Gem of Coagulation, Bleeding Resist. I think that's the highest level Bleeding Resist gem you can get, but I'm not really worried about that. We'll make more gems of other kinds later, so. Alright, well anyway, we need to use that Resurrection Potion to get Sir Ferrara up, so.
Well done, Sagwell. You have proven yourself worthy of the name. Hallam's trust in you was not misguided. I don't know what to make of Bloody's tale, but it has the ring of truth to it. We must return to Wenson and tell him what we've learned here in Uduath.
Alright, fair enough. Did we get all the prisoners out?
They are Almain, settlers from the west, searching for a place to plant their flag.
They probably came here from Port Maria then.
I've never seen such terrible luck.
Only to be taken prisoners immediately out of here.
Uduath, right in Bloody Bones' warpath. Better they had cut their own throats. A kinder fate.
Well, at least we got him out, so.
Off we go then.
Alright, so am I meeting you back at the House of Ballads, or? No, we're actually heading back to... Oh yeah, we are heading back to the House of Ballads, because King Wenson went to the house himself. So, fair enough. Alright, well, let me grab what's in here real quick. Another minor experience booster. You know, I was off the mark in that fight completely. I didn't even use an experience booster. Nothing. I was just like, okay, whatever. Just use the fate mode to destroy this guy and not even use all the good stuff that I'm supposed to use it for, you know? It's like, okay, what are you doing? Oh, those are slightly better than what we've got, so I'll take them. Need to upgrade this chest armor and stuff, though, but by the time we get out of Ettenmere, we either will have an upgrade or we'll be able to go to a place where we can get an upgrade. So I'm not too concerned about it. Did I get everything in here? Yeah, because that was where we killed him, so that's fine. Honestly, if I hadn't been swinging wildly with the sword, I probably would have been able to kill Bloody before the fate meter fell off, but it's too late to stop once I started, because then it was like, okay, no, I might as well just knock as much of his health off as I can while I have him staggered, because I don't want him to be messing with me while the sprites get back up. Like, I could have disengaged and gone and killed the sprites, I guess, to get a little extra experience, but sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, you know? It's all good. I'm not really too concerned about it. What we should be concerned about is the fact that Delek is waiting for us just over there. And, well, Agarth's been waiting a little while for me to get there, so hopefully we'll be able to meet him there and figure out what's going on with my lack of fate on the next episode of Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, the stream edition, which will be happening on Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you coming out to Twitch and YouTube to check out the stream. I will see all of you on the next one, which, as I said, will be on Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Did I set the quest up in here? I didn't. Okay, well, I'll do that and save again. Until Saturday, everybody, take care, and have a good one. Trying to think, like... I mean, it's too late for me to think about it now because obviously I overwrote the save that I just made before the fight with Bloody Bones, but I'm trying to think how much more experience we would have had if I had beaten him in Reckoning mode. Oh well.